bit of difficulty, but nonetheless, good morning and good afternoon. Welcome back to DCTV, where I am your host, Drew Collins, bringing you the best sports infotainment news in the beautiful greater Cincinnati area. You are new around here, go ahead and stay and join the DCTV family. Hit that sub button. We're on hashtag road to 2K subs. When we hit 2K subs, I'll be doing a jersey giveaway of that new stripe, sub to basically the Bengals new uniforms. If you enjoy the content you see, smash that like button. And if you want to see Trey Turner on the Cincinnati Bengals 2021 roster, smash that like button as well. Follow me on all my social medias over here. And join the Discord, link in the description. About 100 plus people, all talking Cincinnati sports in a group chat for free. All right, now that we got that going, you see the title of everything going on. Trey Turner, the man, the myth, the legend. Why he needs to be a Cincinnati Bengal, and why we need to hashtag protect Joe Burrow. Obviously, we just signed Riley Reef, a big signing that's going to help the Bengals kind of sort what they're going to do to protect Burrow this season. That's another asset. But, of course, you got to keep adding on, and the Bengals need a guard. Currently, I believe they don't have a single right guard on the entire roster because, as of right now, they didn't re-sign Quentin Spain. So, before we get into anything, before we dive into stats, reasoning, logic stuff, I'm going to leave you with one little fact, just one fact. Trey Turner is 27 years old, okay? Trey Turner is 27 years old. He has gone to the Pro Bowl 5 times. He is 27 years old, and Trey Turner has gone to the Pro Bowl 5 times. That's all I'm going to say, and personally, I think that's all that needs to be said. But we're going to dive into a little deeper and get under, who is Trey Turner, his stats, what could he do for the Bengals? And if the Bengals don't get Trey Turner, where do you go next? Who do you get next? But you guys let me know what you think of that little fact right there just in itself, because that is just completely ridiculous. Just crazy. I didn't even know that. I saw that fact earlier, and I was like, what else needs to be said? He's not 30, and he already has 5 Pro Bowls? Crazy, right? Crazy. Nonetheless, welcome everybody in the chat. John, Lee, Shaw, In-Law, Hershey, David, Drake, and Jason. Welcome to DCT. And if you are watching post live, so I do these live streams, but they obviously upload to a video after. If you're watching post, make sure you go down in the comment section and let me know what you think also, because I also reply to the comments on the video. When the stream turns to a video, I also reply to those comments as well. So if you have anything of your thoughts about that, let me know as well. Checking something out. All right. 1 second. I'm going to turn on my fan real quick. It's all hot in here with all the light. All right. Who day, everybody. Let's get into some of your guys' comments. Who day, John? Who day, Shaw? It's freezing here in Florida, but it's going to be brutally hot 30 days and likely until fall. You're lucky. Yo, I'm so mad they didn't get Galladay. In-Law, it's not the end of the world. I knew it was kind of a stretch to begin with because when he came out and said he was looking for anywhere an 18.5 salary, I kind of knew that was kind of off the Bengals table, especially considering all the options. This draft is one of the best drafts in a long time with receivers. I know it's hard to say that with the draft we just had. They had a lot of receivers as well, with Ruggs all the way to Jefferson, etc. But this class is very deep in receivers as well, and we have at a spot where we can draft a receiver if we want to address the offensive line. So it's not the end of the world. Galladay would have been awesome, but I want people to understand this isn't a fact, but this is just kind of logical assumption. If the Bengals would have signed him, it probably would have been for a 1-year deal anyway, just to get him into a free agency next season for him to go somewhere else on a bigger contract. So it's totally not the end of the world. He's going to the Giants. He got paid. He's going to be the number one clear-cut receiver in New York, and we'll see how he ends up doing this season. Did you see the Ohio game? Yeah, I was just watching that. I actually had Ohio winning that game, so pretty pumped. Like the locks, man. Appreciate it, Hershey. Basketball, so it's not a bad thing that since he didn't get signed all day, it means they can get more depth. Exactly, David. So if you look at the cost, what we would have had to spend on that salary, over $40 million guaranteed, around $18 million a year. The Bengals can sign Quentin Spain back. They can sign Trey Turner. They could sign Sammy Watkins. Like, they could sign two more linemen and like a receiver or somebody. They could re-sign Quentin Spain. They could re-sign Mike Daniels. They could sign Trey Turner. I mean, just with that money alone, those are guys you're going to insert and either be depth role, like a second string, third string, or a starter. So it's honestly, I wasn't crushed earlier. If you missed my stream earlier, I basically reacted as soon as it happened. And to be honest, I wasn't that upset. I was more proud of the Cincinnati Bengals, or the Who Dey Nation coming together and trending #1 on Twitter. That was ridiculous. Tate, I remember Tate. So like I said, you already heard my #1 take on Trey Turner. Without even seeing any stats, without seeing anything, injuries, who he's played for, 5 Pro Bowls at the age of 27 is just, you don't see it often. Look how good Jesse Bates is, and he's been, I know it comes by city, team by team, but he's been the Pro Bowl snub for the past 2-3 seasons. This guy has 5 Pro Bowls in 7 seasons. We're going to get into some more of his stats. His contract, Drake makes a great point in the chat. His contract shouldn't be that expensive with him coming off an injury year. But nonetheless, even if he did get a contract, I also think this would be another 1-year deal. I don't know, maybe the Bengals can lock him up a little bit longer because he's younger than Reef. Reef is 32, 33, where he is only 27. You know, a lot of guys, 25 to 29, that's their prime. So, yeah, I don't know how, this is, I've seen articles, I've seen news. Trey Turner has been on Twitter liking posts about the hashtag Who Trey instead of Who Dey, Who Trey. So make sure you're spamming up Who Trey on Twitter, Instagram, the YouTube comment section, Who Trey. It's got his attention where he's actually liking tweets with that in the tweet. So he knows about Cincinnati. Apparently Cincinnati's interested in him. They're doing contract tracing, so they're trying to see, did they give him a contract yet? Are they in talks? Is he visiting? What's going on? It's not really clearly cut yet. All we know is Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals have been in contact with Trey about him possibly being a Cincinnati Bengal next year. I know there's obviously other teams that are interested, but as of right now, I see more Bengals and Trey Turner than any other team. I've seen some Vikings, and a couple other teams as well, but for the most part, I've seen the Bengals more than others. So yeah, 7 seasons, right? He's played 7 seasons, 12 sacks allowed. 7 seasons, 12 sacks allowed. It's about a 50-50 if a Bengals offensive lineman gives up 12 sacks in a season, 1 season. Let alone 7 seasons. This guy's gave it up 12 sacks allowed. I mean, what is there not to like about this guy besides his injury that he got? Like, it's football. He is the 3rd longest NFL guard streak for not allowing a sack. I mean, like, that alone, but those few stats and those few facts alone is just, as a Cincinnati Bengal fan, what about that doesn't excite you? I mean, besides Andrew Whitworth, in my entire life, I haven't seen an all-star offensive lineman. We've had some, decent, solid offensive linemen. Besides Andrew Whitworth, when I was younger, that's about it. And that was the Bengals' probably biggest mistake of the past decade was letting Andrew Whitworth go because he is 39 freaking years old and he is still a top 3 tackle in the NFL. That was a huge mistake. We won't get into that though. But 5 Pro Bowls, 12 sacks allowed in 7 seasons. I mean, what the hell, man? I mean, I've seen some Bengals fans on Twitter like, yeah, I don't know how I really feel about it. It's like, what? Kenny Golladay, I was positive about it. Let's go get him. Let's throw him an offer. But I wasn't like hyped up. Between him and Riley Reef, I am hyped up. I am all in. Give this man a contract. That is who you need for Joe Burrow. You line him up and Reef on the same side, or line him up and Jonah Williams on one side. You line him up next to Panay. If we draft him, I mean, that is a solid offensive line to start building around Burrow. We get into his size. I think he's 326. Yeah, he's 326 foot 3 inches. So he is an absolute pretty big human being. He looks pretty in shape. It's harder to tell with offensive linemen. But I mean, that is just pretty good size if you ask me. Plus pounds, 6 foot 3 inches. What can you not like about that as well? Um, and just funny, the hair. Let's go. AJ plays well for the Cards. Yeah, I think AJ has a pretty decent season. I don't think he has no 1,000-yard season, but the Cardinals are also a very highly aerial attack team, just like the Bengals have been since Zach Taylor has taken over. I think he still kind of does what he did in Cincinnati, kind of just drawing double teams. The almost entire season last season he was basically just a decoy. Throw him out there, he'll get double teamed. It allows the other receivers to have go against single coverage. So I feel like he's still going to do that for the most part. But maybe he built some team chemistry over there. But it's also hard because they also have Hopkins. So Hopkins is probably always going to be double teamed like 75% of the game. So maybe he gets single teamed because of Hopkins. Maybe that might help him a little bit more. Because the only other receiver that would get double teamed on the Bengals would be Tyler Boyd. And that doesn't really happen since he lines up in the slot a lot. If somebody comes to help over, it's usually a linebacker or a safety that's playing in, that's playing in the box. So, I hope the best for AJ. It was not a good year to end on, but, he's one of the best players I've ever seen in my life growing up here in Cincinnati. Trey Hendrickson, yeah, I will be doing a stream on Trey Hendrickson very, very soon, talking about what will he bring to Cincinnati. So stay tuned for that. I'm going to dive deep into his stats, and my predictions for Trey Hendrickson. Burrow wanted him, and then he would have been great in case Higgins gets injured. I think he will regret it not signing with us, but yeah, cash can go elsewhere if they hire the right players. Crow said, if we get Trey, would you be comfortable with taking Chase at 5? I don't know. I mean, the Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow connection obviously is very intriguing that they've already had a little bit of a connection together. But, I mean, that is just still a lot to give up. You know what I mean? Like, Kyle Pitts is very intriguing, but then there's also the part of me that's like, oh, we just drafted Drew Sample in the second round. That was obviously a huge reach. Now you're going to draft one in the top 5 of the draft, even though he's obviously a lot better than Drew Sample. But but then Jamar Chase. But what about all the other receivers? But then offensive linemen. I think the only way I don't take Panay, if he's available, is if we sign Trey Turner and we also bring back Quentin Spain. I think if we bring them both back, I think I'm okay with letting Panay go somewhere else. I think just getting... I mean, we got Riley Reef. I know he's a tackle, and he's only on a 1-year deal, so he'll probably go somewhere else next year. It's just really tough decision. I mean, the Bengals front office are going to have to sit and really talk this one out because, yes, it's a good problem to have now that there's flexibility because you sign Reef, but the only problem is Jonah's a tackle and Reef is a tackle. They both said they are playing that tackle position, and Panay is a tackle. So will he move to the guard position? I don't know. But let's say he gets there and he's like, yes, I will play the guard position. Whatever you guys need me to play, I will play. And you can move him to guard, and we only sign Trey Turner, or let's say we don't sign Trey Turner, let's say the Bengals don't sign him, then yes, you have to get an offensive lineman. If it's Panay or somebody else, you have to with that spot. Now, if we sign Quentin Spain back and we sign him, so it would be Williams, Spain, Billy Hopkins, Trey Turner, and Reef. Okay, go get Jamar Chase, Kyle Pitts, maybe trade back. I don't know. I mean, yes, you could definitely look at weapons for Burrow at that point. I would think I'd be safe with that. Yeah, Gino was a tough one. Obviously, another guy who just had a bad last season here. Just not a good season. With Miami cutting Wilson, they're probably looking into Sewell. Yeah, that definitely stinks. They might be looking at him as well, but Miami also has a lot of positions they need to look at other than offensive line. With cutting Calvin Noy, don't know if there's any top linebackers in, but I checked that. Panay or not, I know I say Panay's name a lot because he's like generational, dynamic. Everyone talks about him, but even if it's not Panay, you gotta look at the other options on offense line. You just have to. Go ahead and then post this on Facebook real quick. In 1 second, guys. But nonetheless, I'm gonna dive into some more stats here. All right, we're gonna go into some via Pro Football Focus. He's 6'3 pounds, 27 years of age. Last season, he only played 9 games, coming off an injury. In those 9 games, let's see. So the one concerning thing I do see here is that he only played 2 full seasons in his entire career. I guess because of injuries. But 9 games, 16 games, 16 games, 13, 13, 13, 9. It's good that majority of these are like 80% of the season, I guess. But that is a little concerning. But that is why you need depth at any given position. Even if we could sign him and we still only get him for 13 games, 9 games, 8 games, I will take it over Michael Jordan or somebody else playing that guard position 110%. So I guess that would be the biggest glaring problem there. Um, it looks like he's played right guard his entire career. Looks like 2019 he played a little bit of left guard. The seasons where he has won the Pro Bowl, he got drafted in 2014, didn't go to the Pro Bowl, but 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, all those years were with the Carolina Panthers. Obviously, that's when the Carolina Panthers were good with Cam and everything, went to Super Bowl. All those years he went to the Pro Bowl. So 5 straight years he went to the Pro Bowl. And you might be like, how has he played 7 seasons? He entered the NFL at 21 years of age, so he was pretty young, especially for offensive linemen. They usually go as seniors nowadays, sometimes juniors, but he entered the league at 21, so he has taken a bit of a beating. He's been there for a long time, but at the same time, the Bengals need an older guy. I wouldn't, that's not a big factor that I'm like, obviously, last season he went to the Chargers to help protect Justin Herbert. So I'd be interesting if he played with Herbert and then he plays with Burrow, the 2 top guys of the draft. He played well. He just was injured. Once again, another very solid season. He might have been a Pro Bowler if I actually bet he would have been a Pro Bowler if he didn't get hurt. Because 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019 all made the Pro Bowl. 2020 went to the Chargers and got hurt. Nonetheless, still had a very solid season. So I bet if he wouldn't have got hurt, he probably would have been the Pro Bowl for the 6th season in a row. But that also might help the Bengals because, a guy coming off an injury season like that, usually they take a little bit less of money. 1-year deal or whatever year deal, usually that can help out. You look at his penalties, last season he had 2 penalties. Listen to this. You know what? This is crazy. Even if the Bengals don't sign him, they need to assign the entire Cincinnati Bengals offensive line to go watch his game tape. In 6 years of being in the NFL, no, 7. No, 7. No, 6. In 6 years of being in the NFL, he has 33 career penalties. Sorry, I said that kind of weird. 33 in 6 years. Most Bengals offensive linemen get that in a season. I mean, this guy is just incredible. 33 penalties in his entire career. That's a Pro Bowler. That's a captain. That's a starter. That is a leader right there. Last season, he had 2 penalties the entire season. The season before that, he had 3. The season before that, he had 4. Season before that, 5. Season before that, a career high 8, 7, and then 4 the year before that. In 6 years of playing in the National Football League, he has only had 11 false starts and 11 holdings. I mean, most Bengals offensive linemen have that in a season. If you are against the Bengals signing Trey Turner, please give me please tell me why. I would love to hear it. I'm not going to hate on your decision. I respect every decision. I want you to get active in the chat. That is the reason why it's there, and that's what we do in DCTV as a family. I want to know why you are opposed to signing Trey Turner, because besides injuries, I don't know why you want it. And like I said, even if he gets injured, but you have him for 9 games, that's 9 games of a Pro Bowler protecting Joe Burrow. How could you not want that? And, I know some people were like, Riley Reef, oh, he's 33 years old. Oh, he's this, he's that. Do you not realize Andrew Whitworth is 39 years old, and he's a top 3 tackle in the National Football League? Do you see what Tom Brady is doing? I don't know what people are so opposed of age. All we're trying to do is get better now, and then we can groom players under these older players. We'll draft tackles. They will work under the older veteran tackles. And when they retire or they leave, then maybe those guys we groomed in the draft will be ready by then. That's the whole point of signing Riley Reef and, Quentin Spain if we bring him back. Trey Turner. That's the whole point of it. If you look at his snap counts, obviously these are a little because of his injuries. Yeah, 60% his rookie season, 98% 2015, 99% 2016, 79%. So, 79, 72, 80. So, last year was 46 because he was injured. But, if you look at it, you probably divide all these his entire career. It's probably 80, 85%. Well, that's pretty, that's looking pretty good. So, the Pro Football Focus has this Hall of Fame monitor. So, they take the position of the player, and they will compare them to the entire rest of guards of all time in the National Football League. All time. Every single player since when did the NFL start? 19-something, right? A long time ago. He is 132nd among all guards in the NFL. Not just right guard, all guard positions. Just throwing out weird stats. Back his combine measurements back in 2014. He weighed 310, so he's stayed around the same weight. That's spectacular. It's a little weird. It's not weird, but when you see guys get older in the offense line, they start putting on more weight, and it's hard for them to keep up. He's 310, or when he got drafted, he was 310. He weighs 315 now. So obviously he's staying in shape, keeping his body ready. He benched 25, had a vertical of 27.5. Oh, and another fact I don't see here, but him being in the Panthers, I know he has playoff experience. If you think the Bengals are going to make it this season or next season or whenever you think the Bengals have a chance of making the playoffs, this guy has playoff experience. I would assume since he was on that team, he's been in the Super Bowl too. Obviously, they lost, but this guy has playoff experience. I mean, this guy's a Pro Bowler. Like that. Another thing I like. We probably have less than 5% of the entire football team that the Bengals have probably have had playoff experience. Probably less than 5%. Somebody calculate that. See how many players there are and divide it by 53. What are we saying in the chat? Abysmal PFF score last season, but that was because he's hurt. If you get hurt, the PFF's like, oh, he's terrible. Like, it's just what happens. Played like only 8 games. T. Higgins gonna have a breakout season? Most likely, yeah. I mean, how many guys have a breakout sophomore season in the NFL? It's like most guys have a sophomore slump or a sophomore breakout. With AJ Green gone, he's gonna get a little bit more. Even though AJ Green didn't do much besides take up double teams, like he's gonna see the ball more. He was already Burrow's like favorite target. Obviously, Boyd probably had more receptions, but he was favorite target for sure. And then you'll see who they draft. But yeah, I'm really excited to see T. Higgins improve. Hopefully, he gets a little. A lot of receivers are good are still really good at being thin, but I'd like to see him to put on a little bit of muscle. You look at Stephon Diggs. He's still a small guy who had an amazing season last year, but he's pretty. He's got a lot of muscle on his body, even though as thin as he is. I'd like to see T. Higgins get in the weight room a little bit. Appreciate that, John. Riley Reef did say he was open to playing guard, but he was brought in to play tackle. Did play guard at Iowa. See, the only thing I saw about him was that in the press conference they asked him about playing tackle, and he says, they signed me to play tackle. So I don't think they're gonna switch him. Andy Dalton, the Bear, wish him luck. Yep. I think the Bears organization is very. I was just say that they're stooges. They had all the options in the world to get a top 10, top 15 quarterback, and they said, "Oh, Andy Dalton." Nonetheless, I think he's better than Fitzpatrick and a lot of these other teams that are signing these bottom feeder teams. I think he's better than Trubisky. I think he's better than Nick Foles. So, I think it's a good 1-year rental, but the Bears are never going to be taken serious until they actually can groom a quarterback. They've wasted probably the best defense I've seen in my entire life. Obviously, you can go back to the Legion of Boom with the Seahawks a couple years ago, and some of these other really good, the Vikings have had some really good defenses, but the Bears have had such a talented defense, and it's just like they're never going to win a Super Bowl because their offense is that bad. Usually, if you have a really good defense and a mediocre offense, you'll be able to make it. And, they've made the playoffs, which for a lot of people is, at least they're making the playoffs. So, you can say that at least, but I don't think they're ever going to be taken too seriously until they actually get a grooming quarterback. But no hate for Andy Dalton. Congrats to him getting the money and also continuing his career. I definitely thought he would never see a starting spot again going behind Dak. Dak goes down. He plays those, the rest of the season. And he gets another shot with another team. I still think the Packers and the Vikings will be top 2 in that division, though. That's what we need. Why don't we hire a quick-moving sumo wrestler? Yeah, I agree with you, Drake. Yeah, I mean, you're always going to need guys. It's always helpful for guys that can play other positions. Guard goes down. We only have 2 guards on the roster. That guard goes down. Okay, who's going to move there? So, yeah, it's always good to have that flexibility. And, that goes along with depth. The best teams in the league have depth. Look at the 49ers. They went down like 30 players, and they were still competing football. They were still competing. They didn't win a lot of games, but they were competing. Depth and good coaching. That's exactly what the 49ers season was. And I'll give you guys a little sneak peek. I'm not going to show you anything, but I have a lot of streams coming soon. I have one about every single signee for the Bengals. So Trey Hendrickson, Shadobi Awuzie, Mike Hilton. I'm gonna have one about Riley Reef again, Larry Ogunjobi. Yeah, all these players are gonna have their own individual streams. Then obviously in other news, there's been reports that Sammy Watkins, maybe a little contact between him and the Cincinnati Bengals. Not too sure how I feel on that. Sammy Watkins is good. He has playoff experience. I've also seen that he is really interested with the Baltimore Ravens, so we'll have to see. Just reading some stuff on Twitter about some of the other potential signings. Yeah, and I've watched a little footage on him. I mean, offensive line footage is kind of hard to read unless you're like an actual like offensive line guy big into the offensive line. I can just see if defenders are um going past offensive linemen and hitting the quarterback. Which, if you guys haven't already, go watch Trey Hendrickson highlights. I woke up this morning and I was like, okay, I need to start watching highlights of the players we signed. So when I do the streams, I can actually see what I've seen, what I think they'll do, etc. Dive into it deeper, per se. But holy crap, Trey Hendrickson is a ball full of energy and a wrecking ball at one. I'm really excited to get him to the team. At first I was like, Carl Lawson's gone, second in the league, and QB rushes or QB hurries. That kind of sucks. Then I saw 13 and a half sacks, and I was like, what are we working with here? And I watched some of his highlights, and I can't wait to see that guy in a Cincinnati Bengals uniform, honestly. Pumped about the Milton signing. Yeah. That guy is one of the best slot corners in the entire NFL. I'm a little bummed Mackenzie Alexander isn't going to return because he's always not going to return because he's our other slot corner. We probably would have signed him by now. I think Alexander played a pretty good season, and he seemed like he was having a lot of fun out there. At least every time, especially against the Steelers, he looked like he was having a ball. So, that's a little upsetting that he's gonna go. I really enjoyed him, but players go, players come and they go. I saw it, Drake. I like that idea. I'll definitely try to get into that. I'll just have to look at how to get footage and stuff on the recording. Pro says, "All right, DC, I gotta go. I'm glad you're back, and I hope we sign Trey. Hashtag road to 2K. Appreciate you, Crow. I'm glad I'm back too. We're gonna hit 2K subs soon, man. And yeah, make sure you're using that hashtag Who Trey instead of Who Day. Who Trey? I think we had it trending on Twitter earlier, which is pretty impressive considering you know March Madness is on. Biggest sporting event out there, probably besides the Super Bowl itself. So it looks like Trey was a previous third round pick, which shows like you can get solid mid round guys that can come in and be Pro Bowlers, multi-year Pro Bowlers. He came out of Louisiana State University. Wait, LSU? Joe Burrow? LSU? Trey Turner? Obviously, Trey Turner's way before his time, but yo, I didn't know that. Not gonna sit here and act like I knew that. Aw, an LSU guy? Are you kidding me? That even adds more to the cause, right? That adds to the cause. Anybody know that? That makes me even more excited. Thoughts on losing Lawson? Yeah, at first I was definitely bummed. I was kind of confused and shocked. I was like, well, this is how the Bengals are going to start free agency, right? We're not going to re-sign our best players. We're going to let them walk and then sign, moderate average players. Normally what the Bengals do. But he went, he left, still bummed about it. He was a hell of a player. He worked his butt off. He is genetically a demon. I mean, that guy's body is insane. The only other guy, one of the only other, pass rushers in the NFL that I think has a bigger body physique than him is Danielle Hunter. Danielle Hunter, I don't think anybody will ever beat his body physique in the NFL. Look up some Danielle Hunter photos. And nonetheless, yeah, I was pretty bummed. And then obviously we signed Trey Hendrickson, and I was like, well, that's weird. And I saw how much money we paid Trey Hendrickson, and I was like, what the hell? That's a lot of money. And then I saw that it was the same amount of money as Carl Lawson. I was like, why didn't we just pay Carl Lawson if we're gonna pay them? We're gonna pay the same amount to somebody else. But I think in the long run, I understand what they're doing. That defensive line was just emotional, physical, mentally wrecked last year, from Geno Atkins to Carlos Dunlap. I think everybody kind of had enough with Lou Alamarillo, hashtag fire Lou. And I think I kind of understood. He's not old, but I think you need to get some new, fresh air into the system. You remember Bengals locker room has left the chat, that whole type of thing, all that drama. I feel like, as sad as it is, it kind of made more sense to bring in somebody new, a guy who has a lot more sacks, 13 and a half compared to 5, although, Lawson had more rushes. It's going to stink. I really liked Carl Lawson, and he was one of those guys that really got me going. But I'm really excited to see Trey Hendrickson come in and hopefully sack the quarterback, not just rush him, or, QB hurry, I believe is the stat name. So that's my final thoughts on it. I wish the best for Carl Lawson. Although early on I did kind of suspect that he wasn't coming back. He was kind of having some cryptic post on Twitter and Instagram, like the eye emoji of workout, like guns for business he posted, and it was like his muscles or whatever, or guns for hire or whatever. I kind of assumed, like, okay, when players start posting this, it means they're up and out of there. So at that point, I was like not 100% sold that he was coming back. I for sure thought, this is probably the end of the end. But I am just glad they brought somebody in that's either just as good or even better. I think that there's a higher ceiling possible. I don't want to say that because he has a pretty high ceiling too. I think on other players, we can say that with Hilton. I think he's better than Alexander. With Chidobe Awuzie, I think definitely has a higher ceiling than William Jackson. I think William Jackson is who he is, which is a solid QB2, possibly QB1. Chidobe Awuzie is going to be our Q. I said QB. Excuse me, CB. Or CB2, because Trey Wayne's going to come back. He's going to lock down the number 1 spot, thankfully. So, I think the William Jackson situation was also pretty similar for me. Let him walk. I wasn't the biggest William Jackson fan. I know a lot of Bengals fans loved William Jackson. I kind of wasn't in love with William Jackson. I thought he was pretty injury prone. Not that he could help that, but he was pretty injury prone. And I thought when he played, he was good for being burnt like toast 2 or 3 times every single game. I felt like he was getting burnt. And I just don't think he was a solid number 1. Although I will say it wasn't his fault. He shouldn't have been the cornerback or the cornerback. He shouldn't have been the CB1 last season. It was going to be Trey Wayne. So we paid him the B1, and he got hurt before the season started. So, I'm not going to sit here and roast. I'm not going to sit here and roast him, because he wouldn't have been put in the positions as he was if Trey Waynes was healthy. Those are my thoughts on that. Thoughts on the New Orleans O-line man who opted out last season? Who's that? Got a name? Trey Hendrickson is built like a Mack truck, 6'4", 240, has some good speed. When I watched, I don't want to say he's faster than Lawson, because I don't see stats. Like, I don't know if there's a stat speed number out there. If anyone has that, put it in the comments. But when I was watching those highlights, that guy looks more of a speed guy than a power guy. He looks like he's a good mix of both. But when I see Carl Lawson, I see more of a power rusher than a speed rusher. Not saying he's slow. He's just so heavy. I don't know. Maybe I could be totally wrong with weight wise and speed wise. But when I was watching Hendrickson, he was getting back there pretty fast. And if you watch his highlights, that guy loves to sack Tom Brady. I think he sacked Tom Brady like 3 or 4 times in his career. Like he just sacked Tom Brady a lot. Obviously being in the same division last season, but I'm a big LSU fan. I did not Trey went to LSU. Hey man, you learn something new every day. How important is P. Ryan Thomas signings? Yeah, P. Ryan and Mike Thomas, those signings are, obviously pretty important. Bringing some guys back that have been in the locker room, that have been in Cincinnati, that, know the system already. You don't got to bring in new guys who are kind of depth guys to learn the new system. It's pretty important. P. Ryan, he'll be the running back 3. You obviously will have Mixon, Bernard, and P. Ryan. I think P. Ryan will return next year, and I think we'll see the mustache man finally leave. As sad as it is, I think he'll be gone or up and out of here out of next season. I don't know. We'll see. I think P. Ryan will get that running back too, unless we bring somebody else in. And then Mike Thomas, we don't have that much depth in receiver. We lost John Ross and we lost Erickson. So if we don't sign another receiver, we will definitely have to draft at least one receiver, at least one. We might sign an undrafted free agent after the draft, but you think about it. I mean, we got Tate, Boyd, we got Tate, Boyd, Higgins, and Mike Thomas. That's 4. You got to have at least 5. Erickson left and Ross left, thankfully. Shout out to Erickson and Ross, but no disrespect, but Ross was a head case and Erickson just was not a good punt returner. I'll just leave it at that. Although Alex Erickson stepped up in the later in the season on some plays, whatever. You get the point. So I think we'll have to sign another guy, but bringing a guy like Mike Thomas, who I think the first game he had a few receptions, maybe a touchdown if I recall. I know definitely a few receptions early in the season, but yeah, and bringing guys like that are always important. Cheap deals, but locker room guys that know the system, know Cincinnati, and have already bought in. I think the big thing of this offseason was the guys who probably weren't bought in, let them walk, and the guys that are actually brought in, bring them back, which wasn't many. B. Ryan and Thomas, and I don't know if anyone else has been resigned. Hopefully Quentin Spain, let William Jackson walk. Carl Lawson, Alexander, Jackson, cut Geno Atkins, just let them walk and bring in the new guys for the new locker room and help they buy in. I think that was a big process because when you saw Trey Hendrickson when he signed, what did he immediately say? He's like, "That is a team that I can play for, and I know I want things to happen, and like I want big things to happen, and I know I'll work my butt off." And he came in and he was so big about that team, that city, that organization. I know we will do some. That is what Zach Taylor needs. That's not what he wants. It's what he needs if he wants to continue a job in Cincinnati. There were so many locker room issues last year that he needs guys that will come in and be like, "I love Cincinnati. Cincinnati this. Cincinnati that. Locker room this. Zach Taylor that." He needs guys like that. So I think, that was a little bit more of a flavor he got with Trey Hendrickson versus Carl Lawson. You know what I mean? I think you got to look into those things like that too. That was a good question. Are there any other teams on on a bad streak hiring impressive players such as the Bengals in free agency? Like any other teams that struggled last year but have signed a lot of players? Yeah, there is definitely another team. There's definitely a couple other teams. I just can't think of them right now. Yeah, Houston, who is a dumpster fire right now. I love Houston. Not the things that have happened in the organization as of late, but they have signed a lot of players despite probably going to lose Deshaun Watson. Well, I actually don't know what's going on with Deshaun Watson and his legal issues. He won't be traded with those legal issues, and he'll probably won't be able to play the entire season next season. He'll definitely have some suspensions if I had to assume. Um, Probably half the season if I had to guess. Anyways, yeah, I know Houston, Miami wasn't as bad. They actually almost made the playoffs. They've had some movement. Whole bunch of teams. The Giants. Hendrickson, a 4.65 40. Lawson, a 4.67. So almost an identical 40, huh? I don't know, man. Maybe it was just the eye, me having to fall in love with him since he's a Bengal now. But when I saw him, he looked like he was getting off that line quickly. And when he was not in double teams and he had a one-on-one, I mean, he was abusing guys. I was watching one where he was against Larry Tunsil, and he blew by him, like Katy Perry said, like a floating bag in the air. And he got to that quarterback quick, man. I mean, I was pretty impressed with some of his highlights. Obviously, those are highlights. Everyone's gonna have fun highlights to watch. You got to watch actual like full games, stuff like that. But I'll definitely dive deeper into it. Larry Warford, I know some teams are looking at him as well. I know there's a couple, a group of offensive. But out of any of them, I think Trey Turner is by far the best, hands down, of all the remaining free agents. I think, you can sign whoever you want, but Trey Turner is honestly the best offensive lineman still in free agency, in my personal opinion. Let me know what you guys think. Erickson, where did he go? Yeah, he went to Houston. And uh John Ross went to the Giants. John Ross went to the Giants, I believe. Yeah, the Jets have been active. A lot of those bottom teams have been great. You guys are still in here, smash that like button for me. Or if you're watching post-production, hit that like button as well. Hit that sub button, join the DCTV family, fastest growing Bengals content creator on here. Join the DC family. Yo, take a chill pill. Been a minute, man. Been a minute. Is that Steelers tackle still available? I feel like I know who you're talking about, but I can't put a name to a face. Well, I can't see a face, but you get the point. Give me a name. I can let you know, but are we going to bring any more Steelers players in? I mean, we already got Mike Hilton. There's so much. We brought in a Pittsburgh Steeler and a Cleveland Browns. So, you know what I mean? Like, we're going to have a starter from the Browns and the Steelers this season, which take it however you want, but two of our big signings were in division players. Yeah, the Jags. The Jags have made a lot of phenomenal moves. That's true. I really like what the Jags are doing so far. Mhm. Villanueva. Villanueva. Yeah, that's the longtime guy. Okay. That is who I'm talking about. How I'm over here talking about age, and age doesn't really matter nowadays. But how old is Villanova? Just wondering. I I don't think he'll be a Bengal just because I've seen absolutely nothing on him in the Cincinnati Bengals. He's only 32, so I mean he's Riley Reef's age. That guy is freaking humongous. 6'9", 320. 6'9"? I don't know why he's playing football. He should be in the NBA. But see, if he goes to a team, even though he's on the outside tackle, I mean, you're gonna need a big quarterback to throw over him. I mean, Drew Brees, you don't want a quarterback like Drew Brees with this guy. 6'9"? That's why you need Big Ben behind him. That is insane. I knew he was like 6'5". I did not know he was 6'9". Yeah, I think he is available. I mean, I could be wrong, but all I've seen is that there's reports that he won't be re-signed for whatever reason. I don't know why you wouldn't want him back. Impressive bringing in our enemies. Any Bengal to sign to Steelers or Brown trader. I mean, It's more common in the NFL nowadays rather than, when I was growing up and I don't know, I guess you could say my father's eras, like, it really didn't happen that much. It happens every now and then, and you'll be like, "Whoa, what's going on?" But I just feel like it's more common nowadays to go against your enemy. Like, it's sometimes sought after, like, "Oh, you're with the bad guys now, and I'm gonna go and make the other team pay," or whatever, you know? I feel like I mean, not Russ Wilson, what's the cornerback that's from Seattle, then the 49ers? I think his name is a free agent. Was 40, what's going on with me? Richard Sherman. Jeez. I mean, look what he did. I mean, I saw that, he might go with another division team. Hold on. Wait, what did I see? So he was with the Seahawks, 49ers, and then I saw that he had interest with the Cardinals. So if that's true, if he signs with the Cardinals, he'll be with the third team out of the four teams in the division. I mean, he must just like the West Coast or something. That would be. I saw something like it's a realistic signing that Russell Wilson, or why keep calling Russell Wilson, that he could sign with the Cardinals. I'm like, wouldn't that be his third team in that division? Oh no, that's crazy. I know Villanueva it was in the army. I know that because that happened in the past, but I knew that. That's a definitely a cool fun fact though. There's not many players that have served that are in the NFL. Damn, that's a big ass soldier, man. Excuse my language, but 6'9" soldier. Woo! Kendrick Spain, a free agent. I believe you mean Quentin, and yes, he is right now still a free agent. That was the other stream title I was gonna have. Was gonna be, why are the Bengals not re-signing Quentin Spain? Even if you sign Trey Turner, I still think you re-sign Spain. I don't think he'll request much money. I think he's 29, 30 years old, 31 years old. And he came in last season and made a huge impact and was a leader immediately following getting released from Buffalo. Even if, we signed Turner, I think worst case scenario is we aren't able to get Turner and we just bring Quentin Spain back and we head into the draft and you just draft an offensive lineman. I think that's technically worst case scenario here. But once again, I haven't seen nothing on Quentin Spain. I've even on Twitter like tried to reach out to like NFL rumor accounts, who aren't 110% all the time. They do miss sometimes, but for a good span, they get a lot of those I guess you could call it assumptions of where players go pretty early. Like I'd probably say like 75, 80% of the time, at least the ones I've seen. And I've reached out to a few of them that have responded to me in the past. I'm like, hey man, have you heard anything on Quinn Spain? Nothing. I mean, I haven't heard him having interest in other teams. I haven't heard teams interested in him, and I haven't heard him interested in teams. So if I've missed anything, let me know. But I'd love to see Quentin Spain come back. His his salary was 2.2 mil. Bengals have more than enough money. They're doing Trey Turner and Quentin Spain back. And if you want to add somebody else, like a veteran at a different position, that as well. Season with the Bengals last year, good. played 9 games as a Bengal, had 2 penalties. That's him only as a Bengal. It's hard because PFF, it's hard to see stats if they play with 2. Yeah, I mean, he's 29 years old. I mean, why not? Yeah, and I've said since last season, early last season, I was like, this team needs a veteran linebacker. I said that like the first month of football. I was like, hopefully there'll be some veteran linebackers in free agency. I haven't really seen any that that I've seen on the free agency market. And to be honest, I haven't seen the Bengals qualify for any interest in any. So at this point, I don't think it will happen. I think if anything, we had to linebacker position, it'll probably be mid to late rounds in the draft, which is good. But once again, those aren't veterans; those are just more young guys. So I've said for a long time I want some veteran linebackers, but uh, it's hard to say who I would take first round. I got to see who we sign. You know what I mean? Like I got to see if we sign any more linemen, if we sign a receiver, what we do here. I think that just depends. As of right now, if I had to draft today, I'm taking Panay or Slater or the best guard in the draft. I don't know who the best guard is. I'd trade back and get him maybe if he is gonna go later. If I had to draft right now, I would still draft offensive line with that first pick over Pitts. Over Jamar Chase. Today, I would still draft offensive line because our offensive line is still incomplete. It's improved, but it's still incomplete. We don't have a right guard on the roster. That is why I don't know why Quentin Spain is not re-signed. We don't have a single right guard. Thoughts on Melvin Ingram? He's all right. He won't be a Bengal if that's what you're trying to refer to. Still a free agent, right? He signed. I mean, he would be a better linebacker, but looks like he's visiting the Chiefs right now. That's the latest updates. He's visiting with. Look, man, if he's visiting with the Chiefs, he's not coming to Cincinnati. I'll let you know that right now. If he's visiting with the Chiefs, he's not coming to Cincinnati. Because the Bengals aren't going to give him much more money than the Chiefs are, even if it's only like a few million. He's going to go probably get a Super Bowl ring. Hey, if I'm wrong, burn me on Twitter. If I'm wrong, if Melvin Ingram leaves Kansas City, flies into Paul Brown Stadium, goes to the Ruby Steakhouse, gets a fat Ruby cigar and a steak, and he signs with the Cincinnati Bengals next season, clip this right now and burn me on social media. But he's had a good career. Mixon, what? Mixon's back. He'll be healthy. And I think one of the things that's kind of gone on undescribed with the improvement of the offensive line is that, obviously it's protect Joe Burrow, protect Joe Burrow, protect Joe Burrow, which obviously I'm huge on if you're new around here. But it's also going to improve Joe Mixon's game. He's going to carry for more yards per game. Hopefully he won't get as banged up as much, tackled in the backfield. This is going to help Mixon as well. Look at Mixon's career. He's had terrible offensive lines to have to run through. Terrible. I mean, I think every year since he's been a Bengal, the offense line has been bottom 10, bottom 15. Has it ever been above average since he's been a Cincinnati Bengal? I mean, you saw what he's done when he's healthy. He's one of the top 5, top 3 backs in the AFC. What if he gets a top 10, top 15 offense line in the NFL? It'll be even better. So, obviously, I don't know why offensive line we're so, I don't know if we can give you that. I don't know. We're going to lowball you there. Should we look at this guy? Like, our offensive line is going to improve our entire offense, not just our passing game, but our rushing game. Our rushing game was so handicapped last year because our offensive line was terrible. I remember in the games when Mixon was healthy early in the season, Mixon was getting so much hate on the streams, on Twitter, Instagram, oh, we overpaid Mixon. We paid Mixon for what? We did this, Mixon that, overrated, overpaid, yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, dude, he doesn't have an offensive line. What do you want him to do? He can only do so much. I remember every game when he was healthy, man, they would hand him off, and he has two defenders wrapped up around his legs. He'd have to run to the sideline, break some tackles, try to get up for a 2-yard gain. I mean, I felt bad for Mixon. I mean, and the thing that's so frustrating is that if the Bengals don't want to spend money on offensive line, but they'll spend money on a running back, that is totally incorrect and unlogical in today's NFL. You can see all these running backs go get paid. Look at the Jets, what they did. But if you don't have an offensive lineman, they're going to be unsuccessful. And then you cut the running back, and you're like, oh, we overpaid you. And then you get the community, the fans. They'll be like, oh, you overpaid him. Why'd you pay this guy? He stinks. And then it's like, you didn't give him an offensive line. What do you want him to do? That's like having a quarterback with no receivers. That's not the quarterback's fault. No one can. I mean, look at Brady years ago in New England when they wouldn't build around him. What'd they say? What do you want him to do? It don't matter how great he is. He doesn't have nobody to catch the ball. It's the same thing with the running back position. If you don't have people blocking for him up front, you can't get mad when he doesn't produce. And then don't pay a running back and then not pay for an offensive line. You can't pay Mixon all that money and then not pay for people to help him. Can't. Or I guess you can. Cincinnati did. But what are you going to get out of it? So I don't want to hear another word about Joe Mixon Joe Mixon overrated. I'm all in on Joe Mixon. That guy's a baller. Straight baller. And he loves Cincinnati. And what he does is incredible. Hey, the day where we get a solid offensive line and his production goes, hey, then I'll be like, hey, man, Mixon's lost a step. But until he has an offensive line to block for him, I will never say that's Mixon's fault. Only a couple of times last season did I see him miss some holes that he could have hit, to get a couple more yards or off to the end zone or whatever. But he probably misread those because he was so hesitant of hitting a gap because he was probably looking around like, oh my gosh, I'm in the backfield. I know there's people going to be around me. You know what I mean? So I hate to get off topic, but those are my thoughts on Mixon. You didn't ask me a clear question, so that's what I just thought you would ask. Yeah, Mixon will be ready, and as of what I've seen, Burrow will be ready too. So, if we trade back, Christian Darrisaw is a solid choice. Who's visiting with the Chiefs? That linebacker somebody said. Melvin Ingram. Melvin Ingram's visiting with the Chiefs. Rondale Moore, round 2. I've actually heard that name a couple times. Uday from SoCal. Hell yeah. Shout out to 619 Bengals fan Garcia. That's cool. That was the best thing about doing those game day streams where there's over 100 plus people live. We get up to 8,000 total people, but by the end of the stream, it was so unique seeing where everybody was from. It was so cool. People from Mexico, Nicaragua, like there was literally people from all across the world. Not even the country. And it was so cool asking where people were from, and they were just all across the country. It was so unique. Because that was the cool thing about doing the live stream. Most people going to the live stream can't watch the game, so they're from all over the place. So, shout out to you. We got a steal for Mixon with the improved O-line, with the league better watch out. I wouldn't say a steal because it hasn't worked out so far. If he starts to produce like he should because hopefully the offensive line improves, then I'll say it was a good deal. But so far, I don't consider it a steal at all. Until we can actually get production out of it, Could it be a steal if the O-line blocks and he gets production again? Oh, yeah, it could be a steal. But right now, as of right now, it's a bad deal. It's a bad deal as of right now. And he got injured, so that's not too fair, but that's just what we've gotten so far is not the production of how much money he's getting in his bank account. The stakes in Cincy must be the bomb. Yeah, my parents have gone to Jeff Ruby's a couple times, and they they freaking love it. And also the other thing about Ruby's. Oh, did I tell you guys Jeff Ruby followed me on Twitter? When all that happened and all that was getting leaked about Jeff Ruby this, Jeff Ruby that, he saved the Bengals' hopes of signing these players or whatever because they met for dinner there before the players signed. I added Jeff Ruby on Twitter. Guy has over like 70,000 followers. I was like, thank you on behalf of Houday Nation. For thank you for like recruiting these players for us and sealing the deal. And he followed me. Jeff Ruby, one of the best cooks in the world. I don't know if you can see that follow you, but where's it at? Right there, it says follow you. Jeff freaking Ruby, man. Jeff Ruby, 70,000 followers follows you. I was like, what? I'm over here in college to go on a sports broadcasting, trying to get athletes to follow me. And here's Jeff Ruby following me on Twitter. That's sick. Literally, his profile picture is him and Guy Ferrari. So yeah, if you're in the Cincinnati area, it's fine dining, obviously. But what I was trying to say was, before I got off duty, they're known for their steaks. Oh, Buzz, appreciate it. We're getting our members back. You're the first member back. We had members during the season, and then they left members because I went active for 2 months. That was my break from end of season to off season where there's no news. I went off. So appreciate you, the first member back, and now your name is indefinitely down here. Appreciate you, Buzz. That helps the channel out a lot. Yeah, I keep getting off track, but they're actually known for cigars too. Jeff Ruby. So the guy said that they had a cigar too. So if you knew that and you like cigars, Jeff Ruby, you can get it's a homemade cigar. I'm not into cigars or anything. So I guess you can get a Jeff Ruby cigar and you can get the steak too. Appreciate it, Cray Pup. You're an OG. Been here for a while. Any Bengals following you? I don't think so because I haven't had my Twitter long. And I don't really at any of the players, which maybe I should start doing that more often. Yeah, I'll probably start doing that more often. If I had my Twitter longer and I was more active on it, I probably could get some followers of the players. I have talked to some of the players on Instagram from last season and heading into this season. I have like had some DM conversations, so I was thinking about DMing some of the players and asking if I can get some interviews. Would you guys be interested in that if I did some sit-down live interviews, 15, 30 minutes, just talking to them one-on-one? I never thought I didn't really think, people would be interested in it. But if you guys would, let me know, and I'll start DMing some of the players, and I'll try to get them on here. Everyone shout out Buzz in the chat. Shout out Buzz Hodges in the chat for joining the DCTV family member list. And now you get that little thing. Welcome back. Appreciate it. Welcome back. Yeah, Montgomery Inn as well. Montgomery Inn is my favorite. Growing up in the Cincinnati area, Montgomery Inn is the best. So, yeah, Drake, if you guys want to see that, let me know. I can definitely probably get in touch with some of these Bengals guys. It's a little hard, but if you DM the right time and you DM them the right thing and you're professional about it, they could get back at you. Because I know I did that, that Xavier basketball player earlier in the season, and he was a Big East rookie Big East freshman of the year. I've talked to him a couple times. Kobe Jones, so talking to players like that could definitely get them on the show. Obviously, college basketball, NFL, two different. Gotta start somewhere, right, guys? I gotta turn this up so I can hear this. Oh yeah, Buzz. Shout out Buzz in the chat, becoming a member again, and in that donation. Appreciate you, Buzz. Hey, we're at 1930. If you check live sub count, 1930, less than 70 subscribers away from the jersey giveaway. Let's freaking go, guys. So when that pops up, there should be a subscriber one, but for some reason it's like bugged and not working when you subscribe. So I'm gonna try to fix that off stream. I don't know why it's not working. It's kind of aggravating. But look, if I do it, like I just pressed for myself, it works. So, and the donations work as well. So I don't know honestly why this isn't working. Um, but I will try to get on it. Promise. Oh, well, see, if I put session subscribers, I don't know what it did. It like puts all the names. Huh. So that works. So Team Almera, I think, was the latest subscriber. Anyways, I'll get back to football. I just want to show you guys. I don't know why. Unless it'll stay Drake Jordan. Of course, let's go, Buzz. You need to practice as well for your future career. Yeah, 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 for sure, for sure. So yeah, I'll get to it. I'll get to it for sure. Off stream, I'll definitely DM some players, see if any of them are interested in coming on the show, and me being able to ask them some questions for you guys. I think that would definitely be cool. I was just kind of hesitant to do it because I just didn't think it's kind of the content people like to sit and watch. But hey, if you guys are on board, I'll try my hardest. Wow, we really shine away from the Trey Turner the Trey Turner situation, but we've been live for an hour and 12 minutes. So if you're still in here, smash that like button. Ah, it's so good to see the DCTV fan members back. We had like at least 5 during the season, so which hey, for a streamer like me, that's huge. Appreciate that, John. So, okay, so let's continue the conversation. Let's not let it get sideways. So, what if we don't get Trey Turner? Where do the Bengals turn? What do they do? Where do they go? Well, there's a couple other options, other than Trey Turner, and let's get into that. Let me log into my Twitter real quick. If you haven't, follow me on my Twitter, Drew_Collins11. If you follow me and then tweet at me that you followed or say what's up, I will follow you back on Twitter. That was almost. Ladies and gents. All right. Updated Bengals. Started the stream. So here are some targets. Shout out to Bengals for Life on Twitter. Some Bengals free agency targets for O line. You got Trey Turner, Larry Warford, Zach Fulton. Those are the 3 that are put on here. And then for receiver, you got Sammy Watkins, Josh Reynolds, Demarcus Robinson. And then for edge, you got Alden Smith. Those are some of the options. Now let's focus on the O line since that's what we're kind of focusing in on. Obviously Trey Turner is the big #1 guy. Like this is who I want. I'm all in on Trey Turner. Let's check out Larry Warford. You see how fast my neck turned? Thank you, Drake, as always. But yeah, I definitely have I mean, I've had a conversation with Logan Wilson on Twitter, so maybe I'll Twitter DM him. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think he followed me back. It's okay. It's tough. We'll see. I'll definitely hit up some players. I have a couple in mind. Obviously, I'm not gonna go straight in for Joe Burrow. Like, hey, bro, gonna interview. Like, I'm obviously gonna start off with the lower depth players. So don't expect me to instantly pull Joe Burrow in here, okay, guys? What's up, Tay Tay? Who dey, baby? I see that, Shaw. I don't watch him, but I kind of got the lingo on interviewing players and the views and everything. But not all about the clicks and the numbers. Obviously, the only number I like is a subscriber number. But like I said, I do what you guys want. You guys want me to interview people. I'm going to try my damn hardest to interview some players, okay? That's what we're here for. Are you in Oakley? I am not in Oakley, but I'm not too far from it. Next question. All right, getting into Larry Warford. He was also drafted in the 3rd round, this time 2013 draft. He has made the Pro Bowl in 3 seasons with the Saints, so he has been also a Pro Bowler. So he's made in the Pro Bowl 3 times. He got 5 times. For Trey, he is 29 years old. Okay, so that's actually younger than what I thought he was. So not old either. 27 versus 29, not too big of a difference. He's a little bit bigger, 333 pounds, 6'3", so about 15 pounds bigger, give or take. So I can already see some resemblance. So maybe I should make a stream about this guy. I just haven't seen any Bengals Larry Warford connections as I have with Trey Turner. Now, if I see Larry Warford's interested with the Bengals or Bengals interested in him, I obviously would do a stream on him. But the only reason I'm doing a stream on Trey Turner is because I know there's actually 2 guys getting to it. Oh, wow, he's from Kentucky. So he's born in California, but he went to high school in Madison Central, Kentucky, and then went to college at Kentucky. So maybe that's why some of these connections are being. I still haven't seen Cincinnati Bengals Larry Warford, but maybe a little bit of some interest of Bengals fans in Larry Warford because he's from the Tri-State. Okay, I didn't know that. It's very interesting. He got into the league when he was 22. He made the Pro Bowl 2017, 2018, 2019. Is this the opt-out? Is this the guy who opted out in 2020? Is that who you guys were talking about earlier? We like the Saints what about that Saints off lineman who opted out? Yeah, okay, so he didn't play the whole last season because he opted out. See, give me a freaking name and I can put it towards a player. Okay, so his past 3 seasons, he opted out last season because of COVID relation. Okay, it's understanding. He made the Pro Bowl. So unlike Trey, who didn't make it last season because of injuries, but made it the past 5 seasons, he's coming off. Well, I guess he didn't make it either because he wasn't season. But last time he played, he made the Pro Bowl. The one thing I can see straight away that I like more about Larry than Trey actually is his consistency. 16 games, 13 games, 13 games, 15 games, 14 games, 15 games, 15 games. So once again, only 1 full season like Trey Turner, but he's played more games. I guess there's a rest games or probably maybe like a little tweak injuries, so probably rest games if I had to guess. He's played he hasn't missed a lot of games. And last season played 15. Season before that 15. So that is a very good sign. He's also right guard. Let's check out some of his stats though. But this is, to be honest, I didn't know he was a 3-time Pro Bowler. So I'm glad I'm looking into his stats because I'm learning with you guys. I didn't really know he was a Pro Bowler. We should offer Sammy Watkins a deal. I saw there was some interest with Sammy Watkins. Personally, I think I'm more of a go draft a receiver. I saw Sammy Watkins is meeting with the Chiefs right now, so I would be pretty surprised if he left Arrowhead Stadium without signing a contract. You get him in a room with Patrick Mahomes, what the hell do you think he's gonna? Or am I talking about the right thing? It says it said he was meeting with the Chiefs, right? Or no, he's on the Chiefs. What am I talking about? Sammy Watkins. What did I see on Twitter? Oh, Yeah, I'm talking about somebody else. Completely wrong. He's with the Chiefs already, but he met with the Buffalo Bills. But then the Bills say that it's unlikely, but you never know. But then there's also sources that he wants to go with the Baltimore Ravens. I even saw that he replied to a tweet. So sorry that I was wrong about that. So sorry I was wrong with that. But I even saw a tweet or an Instagram post where he was responding to Ravens fans about him going to and winning a ring for the Ravens. So if there is a little bit of interest with the Bengals, I saw there was a little source on Twitter that's not 110% true. Damn, Jimmy Watkins only 27 years old? I thought he was way older than that. Okay, maybe I take what I back said. I think I'd still rather draft a receiver, but knowing that he's only 27 years old, man, I know he's definitely injury prone, but I don't know. If he's meeting with the Bills and he doesn't sign, and then he goes and meets with the Baltimore and doesn't sign, I guess the Bengals have a chance, right? We'll see. But the draft is so loaded with receivers. I think I'd rather see a receiver on a rookie contract. But we'll see. If things escalate, I'll do a stream on Sammy Watkins. But I've really only seen one thing on Twitter, and that's really not too much of a reliable source. Anyways, Larry Warford. Let's get into some of his stats. So 3-time Pro Bowler the last 3 seasons. Check out some of his penalty wise. So he's played since 2013. Only 17 career penalties. Once again, ridiculous. 2 very, very disciplined offensive linemen, team captain caliber. Like I said, most Bengals offensive linemen almost have that in a full season, let alone a whole career. 13 false starts and only 4 holdings, so it seems like he's more of a jumpy guy than he is a holding guy. Only 4 holdings his entire career. As a or as a guard, I mean, I guess it's less likely as a guard as his tackle. So I'll give him that. So he's been a second team. He's been a second All-Pro team and 2013. He had a 40-yard dash, a 28 bench, a 96 bar jump, a 5'10 shuffle, a 7.78 3-cone, and a 22.5 or 20. Looks like he was Detroit line where his career took off. I mean, I'm a tweet right now. If he's on the Saints, he played with Von Bell, right? Tweet at Von Bell. Probably won't answer, but at Von Bell, yo, we need you to recruit Larry. They play together. Anytime you see players that could be going. Hey, at Von Bell. Need you. Cincinnati. Cincinnati needs you. Retreating. Larry. You guys know what Larry Warford's Twitter is? I have a Twitter. It says War Daddy. Is Twitter really War Daddy? War Daddy 75. Hey Vaughn, Cincinnati needs you recruiting. All right, go like my tweet. Okay, well now I know he's from New Orleans. Bit of a connection. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I am pretty intrigued in Larry. I've seen nothing but oh. What are your guys' thoughts on Larry? If we do get Trey Turner, how will our draft shape out? What do you think we pick at 5 or do we trade down? Even with Trey, I still think you consider drafting offensive line first. Unless we bring back Trey Turner, and if we bring Trey Turner and we bring back Quentin Spain, then I say draft Chase or Pitts or whoever may be at the position. Do we still have the center we traded Dunlap for? I think we don't. And if we do, he is not good. He is like a third string guy. I'm honestly not even sure why we took him on a contract. We should offer a Watkins a deal. I mean, you can always throw a guy a deal, but it seems like he has a little bit more interest in Baltimore of what we've seen. But yeah, I'm not opposed of Sammy Watkins. How much money would Turner cost? It's a great question, Jackson. I'm honestly not too sure. I mean, you look at coming off the end season, so he'll take a little bit of a pay cut. It honestly depends if you give him a 1 year deal or if you give him a multi-year deal. And if I think he goes to the Bengals, I'm gonna go ahead and assume it's only a 1 or 2 year deal, kind of like Reef. Just because you see all these players signing a 1 year deal, because next season the cap is gonna go back up, and players are gonna be able to make more money in free agency. So they have a little bit of insecurity because they can't sign a long-term deal because of injury. But I think it probably no more than Chargers cut him, and that saved 11 million cap. Probably no more than 11 million. Probably less than that, right? His average salary on that 4 year deal, it was a 4 year 45 million with the average of 11 million salary. So less than 11 million. Even if it's a 1 year deal, it's gonna be less than 11 million for a fact. I think it'll be a 1 year deal, maybe two most. The reason why I think it could be more than a 1 year deal is just because he's younger. But still, with him being younger, it'd make more sense in his mind, in his case, to sign a 1 year deal so he can hit free agency again next year, where the money's going to be there. Talking about Drake, you're right. Well, if we just brought in Trey Hendrickson, then Trey Hendrickson should also should also. I didn't even think about that. Ooh, I'm getting some hate. So when I was watching that Trey Hendrickson highlight earlier, I said, "Wow, as a Bengals fan, I am pumped. Thank you for great content, Who Dey." And then some Who Dat Ninja, Who Dat. We all know Who Dey was made before Who Dat. Come on, let's be realistic. Obviously, a Saints fan says, "I'm glad you guys overpaid for him. Good for T Rex. Question is, when he gets double teamed, will he do good? How will he do? Because he rarely got double teamed last year. Who Dat, not Who Dey." So YouTube comments, classic war. So I mean, 5 to 10 million is probably good for a 1 year deal. Just majority of it would be guaranteed. Like if it was a $10 million deal, it'd probably be 8 million guaranteed, and like 2 million in incentives. Yeah, there it is. Alden Smith though, eh, I haven't seen Alden Smith talk. Know where the Alden Smith is? Top of Alden, like Cincy Jungle. The free agent Alden Smith. Rush. Probably a pretty big payday too. Just paid Trey Hendrickson all that money. Bills. I really don't see any reliable source out of Drew Garrison guy all over this Alden Smith guy. Sure, I don't know about that about Alden. So, and if we vice versa, if we look at uh Larry Warford, probably around the same. He had a 7 million salary. So if he had a 7 million salary coming off a season where he didn't play because of COVID, probably wouldn't go up. Probably be like 8 to 5 million, high guaranteed money for Larry Warford. So probably pretty close to the same amount of money. And the thing is, the Bengals have the money. I've seen people like, oh, what do the Bengals have? What do the Bengals have? Bengals are fine salary cap wise. I know they got to save for players next year, like probably Jesse Bates and a couple others. Matter of fact, well, it's early, but let's look at it. If there's they have it on. I mean, look how big this Trey Waynes contract is. This is why I'm so glad he's back, because his cap hit this next season is $15 million. He better come out and ball out for us. Because if he doesn't ball out and be one of the best cornerback ones in the league, that's going to be a big overpay. I understand he was injured last season. It's really unlucky. The Bengals couldn't have predicted it. But damn, that sucks. Bengals never really throwing out big money. The one time they do to secure number one cornerback, it doesn't work out. Let's just hope it works out, because it's a $15 million cap hit next season with Trey Waynes. And a base salary of $8.3 million. DJ Reader's cap hit's also $13 million, but his base salary is only $4 million. That is another player who we just signed last year and also missed basically a majority of the season because of injury. I'm so glad that DJ Reader. Trey Hendrickson, his base salary is going to be $3.8 million, probably because they backloaded it, but it's still going to be a $12 million cap hit. Tyler Boyd, $9 million. Burrow, 8. Mixon, 8. Hopkins, 6. Not too bad after that. I'm just if I can go. I'm just trying to plan ahead, because the Bengals definitely have money if they backload it or front load it or whatever load they do. They're gonna have to resign some players, but I don't know how to word it. I don't know. Nonetheless, I'm gonna stop diving into it and not talking to you guys. But all I know is the Bengals have money to sign another guy. Now, if they would have signed Kenny Golladay, they would be their hands would be tied behind their back, and they wouldn't be able to get anybody else. The rest of this free agency, and if it wasn't a 1-year deal, they would have to see next Depending on who they have to re-sign, it'd be tough next season. So that is why I am not too angry about the Kenny Golladay situation. I do not think he's worth 18 million salary, but he is a hell of a player nonetheless. I hope we can try to get O-line and receiver in free agency and draft picks. Yeah, that would be nice. I mean, even if we get another tight end, or even if we get two more offensive linemen, best case scenario, we get Trey Warford and we get Quentin Spain back, and they're like, okay, our offensive line's solid. We don't need to take it with our first pick. We draft picks. We'd probably still draft receiver like mid rounds. Like, you don't need a receiver's first round. Especially this class is a pretty good group of receivers. We need to add at least one more edge rusher and D tackle to our D line, our pass rush and run defending horrible last season. Yeah, that's why I want us to bring back Mike Daniels. I want Mike Daniels to come back. He was pretty solid. He's a veteran guy. We didn't have DJ Reader last season, so we get him back. We get Larry Uncanjanobi that we just signed from the Browns, so you pair him up with DJ Reader. Throw in Mike Daniels in there. Nice group of defensive tackles, and you got Sam Hubbard, Hendrickson, the guy we drafted last year out of Notre Dame. I'm sorry, catching a blank right here. Khalid Kareem, he played a little bit last season. Really didn't get to the quarterback much, but he's a 5th-round pick. But yeah, we definitely got to add some edge rushers. I definitely expect the Bengals anywhere from pick 2 to 4, or rounds 2 to 4, excuse me, to draft an edge rusher. The first 4 rounds could be receiver. Should be any of these rounds, not numbering it in any way possible, but it's going to be receiver, edge rusher. It's going to be definitely receiver, edge rusher, offensive line, and that 4th one is just, like, kind of just throwing up there. But it's at least going to be those 3 in the first 4 rounds. I can almost guarantee it. Trey Warford. Oh, I mixed the two. Trey Turner. Sorry. Hour and a half stream. I meant for it to be a half an hour stream. Now I'm mixing names. But yeah. Well, I don't think we have to extend Jesse Bates. I think he might have another year that the team could pick up because of the draft. I could be wrong, but I think nonetheless, you need to sign somebody that's that good of a caliber player. He deserves the money at this point. And yeah, I mean, tight end I think is a need, but we get CJ Uzama back, who hasn't, he's been above average. He's pretty good. He's obviously not great. He's not Travis Kelce. He's not a huge playmaker, but he is reliable. He's a pretty decent blocker. He could make some decent routes. Obviously, he was also injured. And I think for me, why it's hard to draft tight ends early is because what just happened. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little hesitant because of what happened with Drew Sample. Bad draft pick as of right now, at least in the 2nd round. He stepped up last season in replacement of CJ Uzama, but still kind of just average at everything, which is okay, but not okay for a 2nd-round pick. Obviously, it's not his fault. The Bengals organization drafted him, but that's why I'm kind of hesitant. Like, we just used a lot of draft capital on tight end. Here we are, like 2 seasons later, redrafting the position. Round 1, round 2. We'll see. Anybody else have any free agent players you think might end up as a Cincinnati Bengal? Any other rumors you guys heard or players you want to see on the roster in 2021 besides Trey Turner, Larry Warford, a couple others we brought up? Any other players you guys see that you might want to see in Paul Brown next season? I have a very small amount of Native American in me. Hence to my hair, kind of, I guess. That's a kind of, I guess, but I am also Irish. That's why I'm very, very pale. I try to use these lights and dim them tan a little bit so I don't look as pale. I probably still look compared to a white shirt. Obviously, lighting might not do its justice in some spots, but I'm like Native American and Irish. Nonetheless, that's why I'm pale. He's on his final year. Only first rounders get 5th-year option. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Pitts is trash. Could you elaborate? Hey, here at DCTV, I respect all opinions. Just if you're gonna put something so elaborate, please elaborate on why you think that. Why is he trash? You know what I mean? Pitts ain't sample. That's not what I'm saying. I know damn well Pitts ain't sample. Pitts is like one of the highest, I'm pretty sure highest ranked tight ends in like draft scouting in like a decade, or one of the top 5 or whatever that things I was reading. I know he's no sample. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm just saying I'm a little terrified. I'm still a little scarred that we just drafted tight end very, very high 2 seasons ago, and we have to do it again. That's very frustrating. You know what I mean? I know he's not going to be sample. If we draft Pitts, he's already going to be above the depth chart of sample, and probably CJ Uzama as well. If not, they'll be fighting for reps. The reason why I'm hesitant with Pitts, unless he can line up as receiver, which would be nice. I know a lot of people said that they think that he can. Is that we don't run heavy tight end formations. If you see Zach Taylor's game plan, he doesn't use heavy tight end positions. You rarely see 2 tight end, 3 tight end, unless it's heavy run game. It's 5 receivers out, 4 receivers out. So if we draft Kyle Pitts, are we just putting CJ Uzama on the back burner? Are we completely done with with Drew Sample? Are we saying, okay, well, we messed up on that 2nd round pick. We messed up on Drew Sample. Is that what the Bengals are going to say? That's why there's a little bit of back of my mind, like, I don't think the Bengals will draft Kyle Pitts. It's because we just don't use tight ends much. But if the Bengals front office says, we think Kyle Pitts can line up as a receiver, then it would make more sense. Like, if he's not just going to line up tight ends, which, would make sense because CJ Uzama and Drew Sample both lined up as receivers and sometimes, but majority of those plays were kind of just, decoy routes. You know what I mean? Like, they were kind of go run a little slant, bring in the linebackers, and you have Tyler Boyd slant behind them wide open. Routes like that, you know what I mean? They kind of catch the linebackers the linebackers with low awareness, stuff like that. But I mean, if you disagree with me, it's totally okay. I want to hear your situation on the take. But don't get me wrong. I am not saying Kyle Pitts is no Drew Sample. Kyle Pitts is a hell of a player, and I think he'll be good in the NFL. I really do. It's just I'm a little hesitant because we don't use big tight end packages. If this was the Titans or the Titans, the Vikings, heavy run teams that package 2 tight end, 3 tight end sets, a big, 35, 50% part of their game, every game. Hell yeah, I'm in Kyle Pitts because we need a good tight end. But we just don't throw tight ends out a lot. That's my take on it. But I am not opposed by Kyle Pitts specifically. What I was trying to explain was I'm kind of opposed to drafting tight end early. But if you can make him a tight end / receiver deluxe, I say you put him and Chase, flip a coin. Who do we want? So I hope that kind of made a little bit more sense right there. Let me know if that made more sense to you. No rumor, but Tyrus Bowser. Yeah, Ravens, right? 6'3", 25 years old. So another in-division player, possibly. 240. Good one. Linebacker. Be a good linebacker to bring in. Alden Smith. What's up, Nightwolf? Alvin Pryor and Vontez Burfict. Oh, Vontez Burfict return. That'd be crazy. I'm all in. Bring back Burfict, baby. Don't even play him the whole season. Just the 2 times a year we play Pittsburgh, baby. Put him in there and have him knock some heads. Safely. I don't want to see no one hurt. I can't be saying that, but bench him the whole season, put him in there. We play Pittsburgh twice a year, and I think Burfict will get his money's worth. Might get taken away back from the NFL after some suspensions, but I just can't believe he got a shot. He got another shot with the Raiders, and can't believe he blew that, man. When I saw him blow that, I'm like, well, that's his career. I'll be highly shocked if he gets another shot with another. Alvin Pryor, 28 years old, 5'11". Check him out. Like he was with the Jets or the Browns. So another individual. You guys got any other players that are in the division? I'm just messing with you, but we got to get people out of the division. Oh, wow. So he was a former first-round pick. First round, 18th overall in the 2014 draft out of the Jets. The Jets always drafting players and never holding on to them. Not a surprise. Like he's a safety. 20 safety. Has he not played since 2017? Last thing I heard of him is Jacksonville. He's wearing a Browns uniform in the photo, but it says 2014, 2015, 2016 Jets, 2017 Jacksonville. Like the idea, maybe bringing in a guy like Cameron Wake to mentor a young pass rusher. He knows loose scheme. Yeah, I mean, how old is he now? Old man status or veterans? Yo, Cameron Wake in his prime was 39. Maybe bring him in as a coach. He also hasn't played since. Oh, he played 2019 with 1 assisted tackle and 2.5 sacks. I think that's a little old for defensive end now. Offensive line, I don't think. I think maybe 39 though for a defensive rush. I just don't think he'd play. I just bring him in as a coach, but I think I'd rather see Khalid Kareem, a rookie, in there. And Lou's scheme, I don't think we're gonna have Lou after this season, so he would only be here for a year. But I don't know. 39, I feel like that's a little old for a defensive end. Mel Kiper said Pitts is the best college tight end he's ever seen. Yeah, I know they're very high on this Kyle Pitts, so I wasn't trying to get that mixed up. Oh, he's been the highest since Tony Gonzalez? Really? Sample is underrated, though. If we give Sample more opportunities, he's going to show out. See, I disagree because he had all the opportunities in the world last season. CJ Uzama got hurt for half the season, and he started half the season. I feel like he got opportunity. I mean, I don't know how many more opportunities he had. He had a half a season of starts, and he was kind of just mediocre. It is what it is. Like he's average at blocking and he's average at catching the ball. I feel like we've kind of seen what he is. Now, hey, I mean, we spent a high draft pick on him, so I hope I'm wrong. Hopefully, who knows? Maybe this season he takes CJ Uzama's spot and runs off with it, and he has a blow up season. But I think the chances are kind of against that happening, I should say. All right, Shaw. I like that. I'll take it as a compliment. Pitts get zero separation. Everyone is just going off of what was so-called draft experts are saying. He is not special. All right. Roy with some words. I haven't watched too much of Pitts. I should probably dive into some more highlights. I usually don't get too involved into like diving into the draft until like pretty close to the draft. So I feel like it's all jibber jabber right now. It's all here's this, ESPN and all these places are just trying to make takes to clicks and views, picking big school teams, having a couple underdogs in the draft. Gotta just wait till it gets a little closer. We see all the draft stats. Obviously, it's so weird. I'm pretty sure there's no draft combine because of COVID. I could be wrong. Let me know if I'm wrong. But I kind of wait a little bit longer before I dive into stuff and pick a favorite for the draft. Rev, I can't see. Sorry, I can't see that. Reverend Jordan, Hurricanes tight end, very similar to Pitts. Pitts is basically Auden Tate. I agree. Will Fuller question mark. I think Will Fuller is a little too for what we could do with that money and get a second, third, fourth round receiver, maybe even he's only 26, so he's probably looking. Oh, did he already sign? He already signed to the Dolphins. Never mind. He's already gone to the Dolphins. I was about to say. In my head, I was like, I think he already got drafted, but I just want to make sure so I didn't look like a dummy. So I'd be looking. He went to the Dolphins, yeah, to help out Tua or whoever they're gonna play. Who knows? All I can say is I'm so glad the Bengals didn't draft Tua Tagovailoa. No disrespect, Best regards to Tua, but I'm just glad the Bengals didn't draft him. Why would we pick picks with Auden, Tate, and Higgins? They're too similar. Or Auden, Tate, and Higgins. I wouldn't say Auden, Tate, and Higgins are similar. I'd say they're more similar in size than they are play style. I could see your comparison with Auden, Tate, and Pitts. I definitely see that, but I don't see it as much with Tate. I think Tate is definitely more quickie. Quickie? What word is that? You know what I mean? I feel like he's definitely more of a speed receiver. He can go up and get the ball with his possession because of his size, because he's obviously a little bigger of a receiver. But I see what you mean. Like, we got a bunch of tall receivers / tight ends. Where's our speedy guy? John Ross. I wish he would have turned out to be a good player. But I definitely see what you mean there. Like, comparing Auden Tate and then Pitts, copy and paste. I see what you mean. Yo, Wartman, what's up, man? Good seeing you back in here. It's been a while. Shout out to Wartman. I'm looking at Hunter Long in the 4th or 5th. Okay. Name the last top tight end pick that was successful. Literally every top tight end in the league was a draft gym. Bring back Reggie Nelson. I think he's too. Reggie Nelson was one of my favorite bands of all time. That guy was just a walking highlight. He's 37. He's probably too old to play safety. Hey, bring him in as a coach, though. That guy was so fun to watch. Did he end up going to the Raiders, too? At the end of his career? What's up with the Raiders grabbing Bengals players? They're like out of their prime. Yo, we've been live for an hour and 50 minutes. If you're still in here, hit that like button and hit that sub button. Join the DC family. When we hit 2K subs, I'll be doing a jersey giveaway. Also, if you want to be a member of DC TV like Buzz, you can do that as well. Follow me on my Twitter and Instagram. And check out the Discord. It's a group chat of over 100 plus Bengals fans, free. All we do is talk Bengals football. Ian Burfict would give everyone concussions, and I'd love it. That's a little dark. Well, Kuiper is saying, I could see what you mean, though. Like, you want some grit back on the defense. Yeah, I see what you want. Like, the Bengals defense is just not as gritty as it used to be. Back when Marvin Lewis had them boys ready. Yep. I mean, I know what you're saying. Back in the Mike Zimmer days. I think it was, you could give Marvin Lewis all the credit you want, but I think Zimmer had those boys in check before anybody else did. That's my opinion on that. Mel Kiper is saying he's the best tight end he is seen coming out of college, and from what I've seen, he lives up to the hype with a tight end. You don't necessarily need to get a ton of separation. They're the guys you want to throw one up to. Eric Fisher, once again, another one of those that has no rumor and was cut by the Chiefs. Yeah, and I know his contract was big. Was that the main? Well, obviously they signed some other guys. Eric Fisher, only 30 years old, 6'7". Oh, he's a giant. Yeah, I mean that's another guy I've heard nothing about. But once again, he's a tackle, so I think he kind of is off the list. I think we're unless he could accept a backup role. I don't see a 6'7" guard when you have Joe Burrow. Maybe if we have like Big Ben, Justin Herbert back there, bigger quarterback that could use a bigger guard. I don't think we need Joe Burrow throwing over a 6'7" guard. Bengals should get either Tylan Wallace or Darden from North Texas. Go watch them now. Cowboy, 21 foot one. Where's he projected to land in the draft? First rounder, second, third? Where's this guy projected? What do you know? A lot of potential. Oklahoma State has had receivers John Woods, Des Bryant, Justin Blackman. Good receivers and a packed receiver class of draft. Uh, may not quite be able to join the group of first round talent. However, there's no doubt that he is exciting, productive talent. Could garner. So they're kind of saying maybe not first rounder, but it sounds like first to third. 5'11", 193, 73. Scouting report, the positives. Dynamic wideout with an all-around game. Quickly releases off the line of scrimmage. Sells routes and consistently separates from defenders. Always good to hear that. Tough, does not back down from a challenge and comes away with a difficult reception. Adjusts to the errant throw, making the reception in stride. Extends his hands and snatches the ball at the air. Tracks the pass in the air. Displays outstanding eye/hand coordination. Keeps the play in bounds after the catch when works up to pick up positive yardage. Quickly recognizes blocking assignments, gives effort, and gets results. Negatives, a one-speed receiver who lacks a deep burst, not a big-body receiver, loses out in his battles despite his. A potential early round NFL draft pick. He is timed at a 4.45 40-yard dash. And, let's say Bengals don't use, let's say they signed Panay or an offense lineman that first round pick, and you get a guy like this who's like possible first, second round talent, and you can pick up this guy in the second or third round. That works out perfect. You don't have to use a receiver on that first pick. You got to use it on an offense lineman to protect Joe Burrow. It is what it is, but hopefully you can pick up a Tylan Wallace in the second or third round. Something like that might end up happening if we can't keep adding to the offensive line of free agency, and we got to draft Panay or another offensive lineman to protect Burrow, which should be done first. Tylan Wallace as a third or fourth steal. Trust me. All right, Roy. If it happens, mark this stream, screenshot the chat, wait till the draft, come back or at the draft, see if the Bengals sign him. I'll give you $20 if you're right. I'll send you $20. You screenshot this and the Bengals end up signing one of those two players, $20. All right, Shaw. Flips, welcome back. It's been a while. Anything happened in the free agency today? Not much. A couple things. Was Galladay today? It's been such a long day. I don't even remember if Galladay was today. I think it was. Maybe it was yesterday. I think it was yesterday. It was yesterday, right? Not much has happened. Obviously, some things happened. Not much for the Bengals. Thoughts on resigning Gino for much cheaper? I think it's wrapped up and over with. Kind of like what I was talking about earlier. If you were in the stream, I think a big reason of getting rid of Carlos Dunlap, Geno Atkins, Carl Lawson was a part of that breakup we had in the locker room the second half of the season. I feel like those guys were still with the old ways, and Zach Taylor was trying to prove a point with the new ways. So I just feel like it's really not a fit anymore. And let's be honest, I mean, Geno Atkins is a shell of himself, and he's just not really productive. Obviously, he could go to another system and be productive. I'm not saying he can't be. I just feel like it doesn't fit. It's, two different size Legos, and they just can't go together anymore. If it was it's not the money, in my opinion. The Bengals could give him another cheap deal, and he could come back. I just think, you know, I just think it's over with. You know what I mean? I think it's just a breakup. On the topic of Cam Wake, he was actually really good in the 3 games he played with Tennessee in 2019. He just got hurt after 3 games, and he's not totally done. I'll take your word. If I see some gets leaked or there's some interest on Twitter, I'll make a stream about it. Oh, he had an ACL tear. Well, that's unfortunate. That'd definitely lower his draft stock. All right, bro. Well, I'll take a look at that tape. Hey, Drake, you have a great rest of your day. Thanks for the donation. Uh, Peace out, homie. I'll talk to you in the Discord. Tape is better than Jamar Chase to me. ACL just hurt him. When are we cutting Pratt? I think Pratt's a free agent. Right? Pratt's a free agent right now. Trey Smith from Tennessee looks solid in the draft. We can get him in day 2. You know what? Would you guys be interested in a Bengals draft stream? You guys are giving me ideas. You guys would definitely have to carry the stream, but I think that would be what's so fun about it is usually the streams where I come on and I have the topic that I talk about for like 30 minutes to an hour, and then I start talking to you guys for the second hour. By the way, we've been live for over 2 hours. If you haven't already, smash that like button for me, Uday Nation. And if you want Trey Turner to sign with the Bengals, smash that like button for good luck. But anyways, what I was saying. Pratt's still here. I'd be thinking of the other linebacker. What's Why would they cut him though? We're so slim on linebacker. He's on his rookie contract still, correct? Is there really a reason to cut him? Who else do we have? I mean, we all got rookies and second year and 3-year guys. We're so slim in linebacker. Maybe I'm missing something. Oh, I was looking up Trey Smith. But yeah, what I was saying before, is that something you guys would be interested in? Like a Bengals mock draft, and I just do it with you guys? Because I know Drake was telling me that I should definitely do it. And like I said, you guys would definitely have to carry me. But I think that's what would be so fun about it. A live mock draft. You guys can just tell me who to pick. A draft live stream. All right, I got it in the notes, and I'll pull it up soon. If you were here early in the stream, I already gave some nods of my future streams that are coming up very, very soon, which is pretty obvious. I'm just talking about players the Bengals have signed, and each player is going to get their individual live stream, and I'm going to talk about expectations, what we should see, what could happen, how much I grade it. So you'll see those streams before a mock draft because We got a long time into the draft, so I'm not gonna, wear it out right now when we have a long time. Offensive guard. Excuse me. I think I've seen some people on Twitter talk about him actually. 6'4", 312 pounds. Pounds. Wingspan 83. Highly rated offensive lineman who plays tough, efficient football. Terrific position blocker. Wide base, business kneels, seals for action. Explosive, strong, blocks with attitude. Patient with moving feet. Negatives. Struggles handling speed, defenders, and bends his waist or reaches in the blocks. No stiffness in his game, lacks foot. Right? Occasionally. Right. Interesting, interesting. That's a big guard. 6'4", 5'8", so he's almost basically 6'5" of cleats or whatever. Big guard. What's up, John? It's been a minute, John. Probably since 2 months ago when I was doing those game day streams. Good seeing you in here, bud. You'd watch a draft live stream. All right, I hear you. I hear you. A whole stream dedicated to free agent signings. Yeah. Um, I'm gonna do individual streams of every single signee, just so I can go in depth in each player. And then once everything's wrapped up, free agency, draft, I'm gonna be grading the Bengals off season 2021, and that will be a big stream. You won't want to miss that. But I'll be talking about every single signing, trades, draft, coaching movements, how the ownership's doing. And then obviously when we get close to season, I'll be doing my 1 year anniversary of the YouTube account. I'll probably do something for that and expectations for this next season because I started this YouTube account, I think June or July. I think that was when my first video went up for Bengals Network. Pecco? Oh, that would be awesome. I don't think Pecco's probably like 35, right? I met Pecco when he was here. Cool dude. Oh, he's 36. I almost nailed it on the coffin. He didn't play last season. He played 2019. Like I said, bring him in as a coach too, a mentor. Man, Pecco is one of my all-time favorites. Not when it comes to like strictly talent. Yeah, he was pretty talented, but just like eagerness, like the way he played, he was just so fun to watch. And I feel like he just had so much fun when he was on that field. Pecco, man, shout out to Pecco, dude. He was so fun to watch. Thanks for the 2 hours. I was in the mood for football topic, and I was bored out of my mind. Cold and rainy outside. I got you. That's right, bro. We need some size in that O line. Yeah, I mean, definitely. I would definitely, beef it up. Riley Reef, pretty, he's a pretty big boy. Jonah's pretty big. What is Panay? I keep talking about him, and who even knows because he would have to move the guard. We draft him. We already got two tackles, and both of them said they're going to be tackles. 6'6", a 6'6", 331 guard. About this Rashawn Slater, 6'3", 15. Is Slater more of a guard fit, you think? Who do you think's a better guard fit, guys, for you draftees? That's something we can talk about in the draft. If we draft offensive line, we might be drafting guard now. Or at least, let's say Riley Reef moves on next year because it's only a 1-year deal. They just have to play guard this year. The next year they can play tackle. They're okay with that. Slater's 21. Panay's 20. Young. October 9th, 2000? I'm a year younger than that guy. Almost on the dot. Off a month. A month and 4 days. I'm younger than Panay. I thought he was older than that. 20? Okay, well, I like the age on both of them. 20 and 21 are both really good ages. So, I don't know. We'll have to see. Yo, like Clip said, join the Discord if you haven't already. Link in the description. Jonathan Joseph. You know who that is? I'm sorry I'm asking about the Marvin Air players. I'm just a nostalgic night. Yeah, John Joseph. Didn't he go to the Texans after? Right about that? Yeah. 36 now? Goes to the Titans. So Cincinnati drafted him. Cincinnati for 4 years. Went to Houston. 11 and 9. Pro Bowl did. 2011, 2012. So he didn't make the Pro Bowl, and but his 2 first years in Houston, he made the Pro Bowl. Funny how that. Echo was in Arizona. Didn't really later. So good freaking day, bro. Starting to make good move. Good move. Oh, today. Maybe we can move Jonah to guard. Tackle. Well, the reason why I don't think they will is because Zach Taylor went out in a press conference and says we have our tackles. So if he wasn't considering moving him to guard, why would he go ahead in a press conference and say we have our tackles? You know what I mean? Like coaches say things and then don't do it. Change things after they said they won't do it. I don't know. When he's sitting there in a press conference, he's saying we have our guard or we have our tackles. Kind of saying they're there. Like they're not gonna change. And I like Jonah, don't get me wrong. Bro, not be you're good, John. Isaac, is this stream going all night? No, man. I'm probably gonna end it here soon. This is why I can't stream. Hey, shout out Liam for just joining the Discord. Yeah, and if you join the Discord, I can see you join. So shout out to Liam join the Discord. If you follow me on Twitter right now, and then at me on a tweet, I'll follow you back. Say anything like say what's up or whatever. Wow. March Madness, the number 11 seed UCLA takes down BYU. I think I actually had that. Are there any more games on tonight? What I was saying was, this is why I can't stream, because I'm like, all right, it's gonna be a quick stream. I'm just talking about one topic, and that is just Trey Turner. 30-minute stream max. And then I get caught up in everything I'm going. I get so passionate, and then I start talking to the DCTV fam on here. I start talking to you guys, and it goes for 2 hours and 15 minutes. So I just have so much fun doing this. Like, it's just crazy. Like, I'm like 15-minute, 30-minute stream max. Say what I gotta say, and I gotta go. But then I just get caught up talking to you guys about sports. I'm just so passionate about it. It's so damn hard. The new returning? Oh, I didn't see much about that. Yo, Blast Force. I know you're already. I think you're already following, but shout out you on Twitter. You guys watch some March Madness this weekend? I love March. I love March Madness, man. It's one of my favorite times of the year. You know, this time of year is so good. Baseball starts up. I watch a little bit of NBA. I'm not a big NBA guy, especially with there being no Cincinnati team. I'm just a big LeBron fan, so I kind of go wherever LeBron goes. Baseball starting up. Football, big time news. Free agency is always fun. Then you get into spring training, and then into the football season. I mean, being a Bengals fan, I would like if I was a if I was a fan of a football team that was successful in the playoffs, that time of the year, I would say that's my favorite time of the year. But because I'm a Bengals fan and we always get first round exits, my favorite time of the year is the beginning of the season. No hate, it's just truthful. So I think that time of year, favorite. I love the summer, like season wise, but there's no football and it sucks. That's why I kind of miss all these football leagues that are trying to play in the summer, like the AFL and all those leagues. You know, I don't know everything about them. I don't know all the teams, all the players. I don't really care about that. I just like watching football, like watching me being able to see highlights on football. Hey, I'm good with that. I love me some college basketball in March, and NBA playoffs is really the only time I watch a full NBA game. Other than that, I'm kind of just flicking through, looking at stats and stuff. Like, I don't know. I feel like the NBA is kind of boring. A full game of NBA compared to college basketball in March, where it's just like any team can win at any second. Don't matter what your record, don't matter how much talent you have. Any team can win. It's just March Madness. Like, there's no explanation. It's just March. So that's why I like March Madness a lot. Anyway, that's kind of off topic. Oh, last thing I saw was a Sanu return. I haven't seen anything. Have you guys seen anything? I've literally receptions on 107 yards last season, one touchdown. Not too great. Roar Sports Media says Slater projects better as a guard body wise. I'm sure he could play tackle at the next. Okay, so appreciate that. Very informative. Interesting. Okay. I mean, I would say I haven't watched most. I haven't watched a lot of both of them. I've definitely watched some back in like when Joe Burrow got hurt, and I'm like, ah, here comes top five pick again. And I was like, what are they going to sign? They're going to sign offensive line. And everyone's Panay, Panay, tank for Panay, tank for Panay. You know what I mean? And I started watching. I watched some highlights of him at Oregon. But, I mean, it's offensive line highlights. How could can it be? That's interesting because, I mean, I would definitely think him being a little bit shorter might make more sense as a guard. You just see shorter guards and tackles. Like, you know what I mean? Ohio State killed my bracket. Yeah, I had them going, I think, 2 or 3 rounds in, and I had them lose. So you're good, Shaw. Shout out to John Lou 32 going in the Discord. I got you, Blast. John Jackson or Amendola. You mean like whole career, or you mean like signing now? What do you mean? Do you mean whole career? Do you mean like if we had to sign one of them right now, who would I sign? Yeah, both. Honestly, if I had to sign one, everything probably Amendola because we got no like got a lot more bigger receiving threat receivers. Amendola, 5'11", quick slant route, out routes, little classic slant receiver. You know what I mean? Like classic slot receiver. He's 35 and Deshaun Jackson 34. I mean, I guess Deshaun Jackson, you could call him a slot receiver. He was a quick back in his speed fast. Honestly, I'd probably go Dan. Might catch some. I don't know Jackson's stats, but Danny Amendola last season at 35 and 34 years old had 46 receptions, 600 yards. And then at 33 and 34 years old, 62 receptions, 600. That's underrated. How do you feel about AJ Green leaving? It was his time to go, but I'm very thankful to be able to watch him growing up the past decade. That's some of my best moments watching Bengals football with watching AJ Green and what he was able to do, what he did for the city of Cincinnati. Um, but it was his time to go. It was quite obvious he did not want to be a Cincinnati Bengal the entire last season. I think once the Bengals kind of franchise tagged him, it was clear that he did not want to be in Cincinnati and that he wanted a full contract and he didn't want to be franchise tagged. And I just feel like ever since then it was downhill. You hear all these other content creators kind of look for an appropriate word here. Looking for an appropriate word. I'm looking up synonyms for kissing somebody's butt or the other word. Ass kisser. Excuse my language. To AJ Green, some content, not naming any names, but just people I've seen like, and it's just like it was quite obvious that he did not want to be in Cincinnati and that he wasn't enjoying his stay this last season. Everything aside, it wasn't like that the seasons before. Before that, he was top 3 receiver in his prime, one of the best in the NFL, and he's the second best receiver in Bengals history behind Chad Johnson. Um, argue me on that, or argue with me on that. Um, whatever. Those guys are 1 and 2. Nonetheless, yeah, I'm very thankful to be able to watch for him, but it was his time to go, and I'm happy that he's able to go to an organization that he's happy to be with. I think it's kind of disturbing to see players being forced to play with the organization you can kind of tell they don't want to be with. I think it's glad. I think I'm glad it worked out for him to go play somewhere he wants to play. That's what I would say about AJ. No hate, it's all love. What do you think the chances are we snag Trey Turner? As of right now, I think it's a 70-30. Shout out John for joining Discord. Uday Roach. Hey, everyone say what's up to Roach in the chat. It's been a minute, Roach. Good to see you back in here. Oh, you think Jackson? You think Deshaun Jackson? He's going to sign a one-day contract to retire as a Bengal? Probably. I knew somebody was going to get mad about that. Dad's not better than AJ. WTF are you on? Oh, that's funny. Come on, man. Come on. Have a little fun. Have a little fun, man. Have a little fun. Come on. I was waiting. Hey, look at some all. I'll pull up some all-time Bengals receiver stats. Chad Johnson, number one in yards all-time Bengals history. Chad Johnson, number one all-time targets Bengals history. Chad Johnson, all-time receptions leader Bengals history. Say what? Chad Johnson, all-time touchdown receiving Bengals history. Let's go, baby. No, I'm playing. I didn't really get to watch Chad that much because I was a kid. But to look, personally, I picked Chad all day. I love AJ. Me being able to watch somebody on the Bengals, it's AJ Green because I was able to watch AJ Green over Chad Johnson. I watched a little bit of Chad when I was like, getting into football. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. How you not love that guy? Look at that gold tooth. Look, man, I just look at the stats, man. Look at the numbers. And then the rebuttal would be, "Oh, what if AJ Green never got hurt?" Oh, he did. He got hurt. Look at what he said. I literally said that as the chat came in. Clip it. I said it before the chat came in. If AJ Green never got hurt, dude. I literally said that. That's so funny. Look, you can't say shoulda, woulda, coulda, man. Can't say shoulda, coulda, woulda. Numbers don't lie. I'm just messing with you, man. The receiver I was able to watch that was the best that I ever watched was AJ Green. But if I had to pick one, I would pick Chad Johnson. Hey, man, we're all entitled to our own opinion, bro. You like Green, you like Green. If I like Chad, I like Chad. Orange to apples, bro. We all love a little banter. Come on now. If Panea's gone at 5, who would you pick and why? Can't just answer that quite yet because I got to see what the rest of the free agency turns out to be. But I would look at Slater and any other options that could slide in the guard and or tackle. If we address offensive line enough to the point we don't have to draft O-line, I would look at Pitts or Chase or any other options. It just depends, my man, who we sign left. Agree, Chad the Natty Goat. Is Turner ready to play? I just Googled his injuries from last season, ankle and groin. Yeah, I think he'd be good to play because if not, he probably wouldn't sign right now. You know what I mean? Check out Austin Ryder. He's considering 6'3", 300 seventh round pick. You always love a good late round pick guy. Little chip on the shoulder. Not too old. Like he's played 16 or 15, 16, 11, 16. Consistent. 7 career penalties. 5 seasons. Definitely look. We see what happens, but I see it. The top article for him says he's considering returning with the Chiefs. Who's better skill? There's only one touchdown behind Chad all time. What do you think the Bengals should go for in free agency to improve the offensive line? Great question, man, and thank you for staying on topic. Trey Turner and Larry Warford are the top 2 offensive linemen we've looked at that are realistic for the Bengals. So there's your answer. And obviously this stream is specifically about Trey Turner. That's who I number one. Larry Warford's backup. And then obviously there's some other options we've named. If you missed the rest of the stream, you can always go back once it's a video and watch the whole discussion. I hope that answers the question. Any other last things we got here? We have been live for 2 hours and 30 minutes. It's past midnight, and I wanted to stream for 30 minutes, so I'm ready to go unless you guys have any other topics about Trey Turner, offensive line free agents, other free agents the Bengals could sign. If you guys got nothing else, I'm going to head up out of here and maybe stream tomorrow or I try to do Tuesdays and Thursdays, but with free agency, you really just can't have a schedule because everything is so ridiculously crazy. So I might be back tomorrow. Just in case, hit the sub button if you haven't already, but hit the bell button because you just get notified. I'm sure you already know you get notified. So while I'm not really on a set schedule, it's good to have that notification so you can come and hop on the stream, or you can just watch it post-production. Don't want to do that, you can add me on my socials, and I post on my Instagram every time I go live, and I usually post on my Twitter as well. I actually forgot that I was streaming today or forgot to post on my Twitter that I was streaming. Love you, man, but your point of Chad being better is insane. Hey, man. Cheers. Hey, if you're out there, drink a gallon of water a day to stay healthy. Gallon of water every day. Yo, John, you have a great rest of your day, man. Good seeing you back in here. Hey, and keep spreading the channel. We're 70 subs away from doing that jersey giveaway. And it couldn't work out any better because I said from like 1,500 subs last season, I said we're going to do a jersey giveaway at 2K subs. And then we get here, and then they're releasing new jerseys. So doesn't that just work out perfect? Everyone wants the new jerseys this season anyway. And then I'm about to be doing a jersey giveaway probably days away or very soon when they release the jersey. So if we hit the sooner we hit it, the sooner they release the jerseys. It's going to be around the same time. So you guys are going to probably be killing my pockets because I'm pretty sure these new jerseys are probably going to be at least $100, if not more. Make it depressing, but I'm sad we didn't make anything in 2015. Tough, man. Hey, Shaw. Anything I can do for you? You have a great rest of your night. Okay, I'll cover Josh Reynolds and I'll probably head out of here. Josh Ross is trending, or John Ross. He already got picked up though. Isn't he on the Jets or the Giants? Why is he trending? Did he get released already? That wasn't recent that he got picked up. He got picked up early today or yesterday or the day before. He's been picked up. Sorry, I'm tweeting. Wait, why is he trending? Oh, he's just trending because people are talking about the Giants free agency class. I already knew he got picked up to the Giants. That's old news. he can be as fast as he's want, but he's probably not hanging on to anything. You got that right. All respect due, but be as fast as he wants. Can't. Okay, Josh Reynolds. Let me stop getting off topic. Go like my tweet, if you haven't already. Once again, if you are new following, just follow me and at me. I'll follow you back. Followers. Trying to get big on Twitter, you know? Feel me, Houday Nation? Talking about. Yeah, dude, this is what happens when I'm only coming in prepared for a 30-minute stream and 2 hours and 30 minutes. Here we are. Off topic. Yo, I gotta use the bathroom real quick. I'll be right back. But when I get back, we'll look at Josh Reynolds. I'll be right back in like 3 seconds. Give me. All right. What's up, my beautiful Cincinnati people? Woohoo, dead air. Man, I was gone for 2 minutes, and I've been live for 2 hours and 37 minutes. Everybody's perfect, man. Matter of fact, that was the first time I've left this whole stream. I haven't used the bathroom once this whole stream. I used it for 2 minutes in a 2 hour and 30-minute stream. Come on. Give me some slack. I was going to say I'm not even getting paid to do this, but Drake just donated $5 and Buzz became a member. I take it back. You said we got to spam and chat and show love. I take it back. You were going to show love. I'm sorry. I'm over here being hard on you. Wait, is my mic on? Mic not on? My mic on? Wait. Wait, is my mic on? Oh, my mic. Nobody clip that. Nobody please clip that. My mic has a little button right here. Either blinks or it's solid, and I can't tell if it's going, and I didn't have my mic audio pulled up, so I had no idea if I muted it or not. Wow, I look like a complete idiot. Look, I just told you I was going to stream for 30 minutes. I'm here for 2.5 hours. Give me some slack, please. But as always, today. Yo, I'm at 396 followers on Twitter. Give me to 400, please. All right, Josh Reynolds. Did I miss anything in the chat? His nickname was okay. All right, Navid. I hope I'm saying it. I don't know if it's Navid or Navid. Let me know if I'm saying it wrong. Please tell me. But yeah, man, you have a great rest of your night, man, and maybe sometime I'll bring you on the show and we can debate about Chad and AJ. And I have a feeling I'll win that debate. About Ryan Finley being traded to the Texans. I feel like it was here I am saying I'll get into Josh Reynolds. Let me answer this question real quick. Yeah, I think it's whatever. I mean, the Bengals were going to release him. It was actually announced that he was getting released, and then out of nowhere, it's like, whoa, 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 hold your horses. He's actually getting traded, and the trade is that I think we flip flopped 7th and 6th or something like that. We moved up like 30 positions in the draft with our like 7th or 6th pick. So I mean, it is what it is. We have that wasn't Zach Taylor's guy. Zach Taylor's guy is Allen. That Brandon Allen, he brought him in because he knows his system. So it is what it is. Shout out to Finley for doing the damn thing against the Steelers. Other than that, Ryan Finley was pretty bad. So I know Ryan Finley was pretty bad. Other than that, but he is Steelers' dad. Get back on topic. I'm getting on topic right now. I was answering a question. I got it. You're on Google page, being live, and we're all off topic. LOL. Bob said, "What is your NHL team?" And this is actually a question I'm very disappointed in myself. I have one. I honestly, that is probably the sport I watch in my life, and I'm not proud of it. I I know the NHL is actually really entertaining and has a lot of cool fights, a lot of cool players. But if I had to pick one, I guess it would be Columbus, right? Because there's no Cincinnati, there's no Cleveland. It would be Columbus, right? Obviously, there's a Cincinnati Cyclones, which I believe is the minor league team. Watching that. So I guess it would be the Columbus Blue Jackets. They're actually pretty good, aren't they? Aren't they pretty good? Let me know. I'm sorry, that's a disappointing answer. Let me know if I should watch some more hockey. Blasphemy. What's blasphemy? Blasphemy that I don't watch a lot of NHL. I know, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Anyway, like Drake said, back on topic. Josh Reynolds. So, out of Texas A&M, he actually has a touchdown record, season record. 6'3", 196, so pretty good size. We already have really good size receivers. Higgins, good size. On Tate, massive. Um, you know, we already have big receivers. I guess we'd be number 83. I don't know how that would work. Only 26 years old, so he's still really, really green. Probably has his best year in front of him. If I on the Rams, oh, it looks like he changed his number to 11, I guess. So this is something I love. 4 seasons, 64 games, 16, 16, 16, 16. Mr. Reliable. That is beautiful right there. Guy that's played every single of his career. Actually, I just messed that up big time. Actually, no, I didn't. It says games he's played 16, 16, 16, 16. He just didn't start all of them. His first season, he only started one. His second season, he already started 8. His third season, he only started 2. In 2020, he started 13 out of the 6. So he's ready to go. He just hasn't started all of them. Last season, he got targeted 81 times, 52 receptions. He had 21 receptions the year before that, 29 receptions the year before that, and 11 receptions. He doesn't get the ball much. Obviously, last year he kind of had a breakout year. 104 yards, 2017, 402 yards, 2018, 326 yards, 2019, and last season he broke out for 600 yards. He averages about 12 yards per reception over his career. He has 9 total touchdowns over 4 years. Yeah, I mean, pretty green, man. Like, he seems like might be breaking out a little bit. Is he a free agent? Is that why you're bringing him up? Oh, so I see why you're saying Cincy Jungle throwing random names out there. Not trying to cap. Josh Reynolds, possible. Watch, I'm gonna say that, and then watch, they're gonna be right in the Bengals. Josh Reynolds. So it looks like they put out. So according to John from Cincy Jungle, while Kenny Galladay weighs his options with the New York Giants seemingly in the lead, the Bengals still need help at wide receiver. AJ Green, John Ross, Erickson, and others have left the team. As it stands, Tyler Boyd, Higgins, Tate are the only ones left. that have legitimate starting experience. Josh Reynolds, formerly the Los Angeles Rams, makes sense makes sense for multiple reasons. Reynolds was a fourth-round draft pick by the Rams in 2017, the same year Zach Taylor joined Los Angeles. Ah. Taylor worked personally with Reynolds during the season, oversaw his development, who he left the Bengals for the head coach in 2019. Now it's starting the X and O's. The connections are starting to hit. First 4 years with the Rams, Reynolds accumulated 124 receptions, 1,600 yards, 210 targets. Obviously, they have Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp, who are both 1,000-yard receivers, so they're taking up majority of the staff. Safe bet that the Bengals add a receiver before the NFL draft in late April. He is a possibility, but have they had any connections so far? I haven't seen any Kenny Holiday. Josh Reynolds. Josh Reynolds Bengals. People were basically just talking about how Galladay went somewhere else and saying now Sammy Watkins or Josh Reynolds are cheap alternatives. Uday Matt, Trey Turner, Josh Reynolds, coming Bengals. But Kyle Smith said ideal Bengals for agencies at this point: Carl Lawson, Joe Thuney, Josh Reynolds, Malcolm Brown. Any quarterback better than LaShawn Johnson was a. All right, so there you go. I like him. Reading that, probably knows a little bit of the system. Has a connect. Contract to be pretty cheap. Young. I take back what I said. I honestly take back what I said about Josh Reynolds. I think this actually might be a better fit than and I think this is a better fit than the other receiver we're talking about. The other receiver I was talking about. I honestly think this guy might be a better fit. What do we think in the chat? How you gonna say that when March Madness is happening right now? You know you watch some March Madness. I've been to a couple Cyclone games when I was younger. I haven't been to one in probably like 6 to 8 years, but when I went, they were fun. What are Trey Turner stats? I'm gonna be honest, I already went over that in the beginning of the stream. To go back over it, but I'll tell you all you need to know is that he's been in the NFL for 7 years, and he's been a Pro Bowl. He's been a Pro Bowler for 5 years. You want to see his actual stats? Go back to the beginning of the stream. I already went over it. The first 15, 30 minutes was all me just talking about him. And that's all you need to know, really. He's been in the NFL for 7 seasons, and he's made the Pro Bowl 5 times. He's given up 12 sacks in his entire career, in his like 7 seasons. So I'll give you those two stats. And the rest you want to know, just please go back. I don't feel like it again. But if I do think the new football player coaching and coaching and yeah, I mean coaching wise, a lot of these guys come in to help or because the coach thinks they will help. So I think they could benefit in this. That's why they got brought in here for. And I think the defensive coordinator is a lost cause. Hashtag fire Lou. So I feel like the defense is going to be better, but I feel like we still need a defensive think it coordinators, whatever. Good question. I'm gonna look at some of his highlights, Drake. Well, I like Reynolds a lot. For bringing him up. I actually think I watched tennis less than any. I don't think I've ever watched a tennis match in my life. Not saying I'm not. I'm not proud of that. I'm a sports maniac in general, so I hate. I don't like trashing other sports. I'm very competitive, but I respect all sports. I'm not a type of. Maybe when I was younger, I was like, "Oh, soccer sucks. Soccer's for girls. Football's a manly sport." But like as I'm getting older and I'm getting into the sports broadcasting world, like I will never trash another sport. I will respect all athletes in every single sport because every sport's hard to do in their own unique way. Grade A all the way. Right. Thoughts on the draft? Go with the best player available, Pitts or go Slater. Um, like I said, it just depends who we sign. If we sign Trey Turner and bring back Quinn Spain, we probably don't need to address offensive line, so we can sign Pitts or Jamar Chase or any players like that. But if we don't continue to address offensive line, I think we have to go Slater or Panay for any offensive line option. You're good. Question, yeah. Going to elevate coaches making them coach better. Yeah, I mean, I feel like the reason why these coaches are signing these players because they feel comfortable with them in their system. I feel like they feel like they're a better scheme fit. Have you ever heard of that? Like a better scheme fit? I feel like that's part of the reason why they bring those players so they could look better as a coach. You know what I mean? They might feel Trey Hendrickson could get to the quarterback more, and they might fit their scheme more. Shadobie or Shadobie Awuzie, they may feel like they might fit his scheme more in the corner position, secondary. You could say that with any player. You could say a Larry Okunjobi might fill up the rush attack. Our rush attack was like the worst in the NFL. He's a good run stopper. Pair him with DJ Reader. It's two good run stoppers up the gut. So there's better scheme fits. Yeah, I'd say that's a good question. That's about right. 397 on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter and then tweet out and at me, and I'll follow you back. 400 followers. What's going on March Madness? Is Texas losing? Honestly, I'd probably be in bed now. Or no, I probably would get off by now. Like I said, I was going to do like a 30-minute stream. But if I wasn't streaming right now, I'd probably be watching March. I think March Madness just. I think the last game just ended. And Texas lost. Had Texas going pretty far. That one hurts. I'm not gonna lie. His PFF grade is that bad because he didn't play 8 games, and PFF is like, oh, you're injured, you're terrible. So look, he didn't just have he's not a five pro. He didn't make 5 Pro Bowls in 7 seasons and just like fall off the play, the face of the planet. He was injured like 8 games because of that PFF gave him like a 30 grade. But if you go and check his PFF grades for the other seasons, it's probably like really good because he's had 12 sacks in like 7 seasons, which Bengals offense linemen get 12 sacks in 7 games. That's your answer. I think we take Sewell at all costs. He's there. I also think Dolphins take other Falcons thoughts on the odds. I think the odds went down a little bit not the Dolphins release that tackle. It's unfortunate. But, if he's not there, I don't think it's the world. And I think the odds also are hurt because I don't see the Bengals trading up. Just not realistic. I don't think in life I've seen the Bengals ever trade up for a pick. So I think there's probably 40 to 60% still. Just do the teams take an offensive lineman at pick 3, pick 4, pick 5? That's pretty high. They think that's their guy. Do you think Mike Brown is going to go Burrow? Nervous for us. This turned into a Carson Palmer situation. Um, yeah, I mean, I think he's gonna try a lot harder than he has in the past. And I think the past 2 seasons, you can kind of tell that he has tried. Past 2 seasons, they spent more money than I think the rest of my years of being alive free agency. If that makes sense, like they've just spent a lot of money these past 2 years, more than I've seen ever in my entire life years before. Why Joe Burrow? And I think less of Mike Brown and more Joe Burrow. The reason we got those players were because of Joe Burrow. Who was at that dinner before those players signed? Joe Burrow. Who talked to those players? What was the one remaining factor of all those free agents in their press conference that they say they want to play for Cincinnati Bengals? They didn't say the money. They didn't say, oh, Cincinnati's so much better than he. They didn't say, oh, the culture, the food. What did they say? Joe Burrow. Every single one of them talked Joe Burrow. So Mike Brown's cutting the checks. So I gotta respect him. That's him up there. Mike Brown right there. But I respect him because he's cutting the checks. But I think if we get players, it will be because of Joe Burrow. And yes, obviously the steak, the steak. The Ruby Steakhouse. Which shout out to Jeff Ruby for following me on Twitter. Let's go. No big deal. Just one of the books of all time in the world. Follow me on Twitter. But I think it's less the Brown family, more of what Joe Burrow says goes. I think Joe Burrow has the Brown family a ring on his finger, and he can just do whatever he wants. And honestly, I'm kind of glad it's like that. I'm actually pretty glad it's like. I'm really glad we have a quarterback that's what he says goes. But it was Andy Dalton. It wasn't like that. I would argue anybody that said it was. Andy Dalton didn't say, I want him, him, and him. And he went and got him. No way. He's like, Mike Brown, you do what's best for this team. Mike Brown, you can see he's been gone. I feel. Yeah, and I think I'm going to end the stream with going off on this. With this point. Shaw said there's a lot of Bengals players still up for free agency, not hired yet. Who are those players, Shaw? That's what we're going to go with to end the stream. Finally. 3 hours in. Yo, I've been live for 2 hours and 58 minutes. Smash that like button and hit the sub button if you haven't already. Definitely smash that like button, but I've been live for 3 hours. Last thing I'm going to cover here is who are the Bengals who are the Bengals players the Bengals haven't reached? So, number 1, Mackenzie Alexander. We signed him last year on a 1-year deal from the Vikings to come in and pair up with Trey Waynes, the other Minnesota Fighting Viking we signed to come to be our cornerback 1, and he missed the whole season with an injury. I thought Alexander would re-sign and continue to be with Trey Waynes this season since they actually didn't get to play together. We basically already signed his replacement in the slot. They re-signed him and have 2 really strong slot corners. I think the chances of him are probably 25 to 75 on back to the Bengals. Although I would like him to come back, I think it'd be really beneficial for both sides, the Bengals and just for him to sign another 1-year deal, to sign one more 1-year deal, hit free agency again next year. I'd like to see that. Josh Bynes. That was the linebacker I was thinking about earlier when you guys said, did they cut? Somebody said, did they cut Rat? I was thinking about Bynes. I said, isn't he a free agent? And he's like, I was thinking about Josh Bynes. Will he come back? I don't mind him coming back just because we need a veteran in that linebacker core, and we don't have one. And he could be that. Probably, I'd say a 30 to 70%. 30. I think there's a 30 against the 70. Kenzie Alexander. Whatever I said was that is Ethan Carter. We're pretty short on tight end. Unless we draft one, I think we have to bring him. Christian Covington and Mike Daniels, Marcus Hunt, 3 defensive tackles that are all unrestricted free agents. Out of all 3 of them, if I could bring one back, but I wouldn't mind bringing Christian Covington either. He was a pretty solid backup. I really hope we get Mike Daniels. Seemed like a great locker room guy, and anytime he was out there, he played his heart out. I'd like to see Christian Covington and or Mike Daniels come back. Kevin Huber. Looks like we're without a punter or a kicker. Kevin Huber is out. Yeah, what are the Bengals special teams going to do? I know everyone saw Randy Beerbelly Bullock, have the OG season 1 of DCTV of all the Randy Bullock missed kicks. Those are good memories. He left and signed with the new team. Hunter of 12 years is a Cincinnati native. He is a free agent as well, so we might be getting a new kicker and a new punter this off. We also have Jordan Evans, another linebacker. I think you got to bring one of these linebackers back. Jordan Evans or Pratt back. Bynes, bring one of them. Alex Erickson, gone. Jackson. We brought back Alex Redmond. He's a guard. Johnson. Best of luck, dude. I hope you do not come back to the roster. Quentin Spain, if there's one guy I could probably have back out of all, I hope it's Quentin Spain. He came over mid to late season from the Bills. Former Pro Bowl. I really want him back. Even if he doesn't start, if we draft and we get his replacement, have that guy in there as depth, and I want him back. I don't know, I've grown this personal relationship. Even though I have no idea who he has no idea who I am. I just have this personal relationship with Quinn Spain. I just fell in love with him. Mike Thomas re-resigned. Xavier Williams. There you go to it. If you want to stay updated with that, you can go to Free Agency Tracker. It's on the Bengals.com website. That's what I just looked. So, final thoughts, people? I think with the releases, the Bengals are done. I think the Bengals released everybody they need. Bobby Hart and Geno Atkins were 2 that I've expected for months now. About time they did. I don't think off my head. Unless anything breaks off. Curious of the tip they left. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was a pretty nice tip. I can only imagine it was probably at least $1,000. I mean, you got people who own an organization. You got Joe Burrow. You got these guys who are signing $1 million contracts. I'm sure it was at least $1,000. That's right, Dennis. Gave me a second one in your. I was ready for sleep an hour ago. I'm sorry. I told you multiple times. I want to stream for 30 minutes. We are 3 hours and 5 minutes. Area Dennis. Josh says draft a kicker. If we draft a kicker, it'll be 7th round. But like I said in the last stream, most of the time you don't draft a kicker. Well, sometimes you do, but majority of times you can just sign it like literally minutes after the draft, like literally not an hour. Like literally within 3 hours of the draft, like multiple kickers and punters will get signed as a UDFA, an undrafted free agent. Like they'll get signed like within hours. But maybe we take that 7th round pick, kicker, or a punter at this point. We're gonna need a punter too. Any final thoughts, Day Nation and DCTV family, on this? Trey Turner situation of him a possibility of him coming. Any other people coming to Cincinnati and helping out the Bengals next season? I'll give you guys a minute to say anything. I'm gonna wrap it up here. My name is Drew Collins. If you've subscribed, or if you're considering, or if you're doing it, or you're considered doing it, appreciate you joining the family. If you do, best Bengals network on any platform of social media content creator on here, and we're growing fast. Hit the sub button. Hashtag road to 2K subs. Smash like button if you enjoyed. Check out some of my other content. Add me on my social media if you want to get in contact with me. Twitter is probably the best way. Twitter and Instagram. Get in contact with me. It's the best way. So other than that, Aaron, YouTuber kicker is actually pretty solid. Yeah, I know about destroying. I've seen some videos on destroying the ball like 60 yards. Maybe he comes to Cincinnati. YouTube, that might be a YouTube video idea. Destroying's got a big YouTube, so if he were to get reference of it, grow the channel. Family. Keep that in mind, Aaron. Shout out Aaron Butler. I'll never forget that. All right, y'all. You want to join the Discord free group chat of over 100 plus people? Link in the description. If you want to become a member and join Buzz and help me support me one time a month, join that. Other than that, 3 hours in, I'm finally gonna wrap this one up. And as always, Uday.